to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Another brutally hot day on the way. Upper 90s, sunshine and cloud mixed, and then there'll be some isolated scattered showers and storms late this afternoon, with the best chance coming between 5 p.m. and roughly midnight, similar to what we had yesterday. Hopefully we get some rain today. We didn't get a whole lot yesterday. For tomorrow, a lower chance of rain, about a 30% chance. Sun and clouds, upper 90s and around 100 on Friday. Sun and clouds, a few isolated showers and storms.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Good news. Your Wednesday kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Auburn, and Greenville. No problems on Highway 80 or 14 coming in from Selma. 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy. Still carrying light traffic. You keep listening. We will keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Your home is worth more now than ever before. So get those special projects started. Call the A-Team at MCS in Wetumpka for a cash-out refinance or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000, NMLS 232876. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
You love your car, yes, but why are you not loving it with those tires that carry you and your family everywhere? Let Chico's Auto Pros show some love with our super savings on tires. Chico's Auto Pros.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Wednesday. The intense heat will continue today, and we could hit 100 degrees by Friday. If you need a place to cool off, public libraries in Montgomery are opening as cooling stations. And the Montgomery EMA will also open a crisis center at 3446 LeBron Road today for anyone needing a break from the heat. News from the southeast: a bear that ripped into a tent and injured a mother and daughter at a campground in Tennessee has been euthanized. Officials at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park say the bear attack happened in Elkmont Campground as the bear was looking for food. Bear attacks are rare, but park officials are warning campers to be careful and not feed the animals. Some consumer news: gas prices had no change from Monday, still sitting at $4.63 a gallon in Alabama. We're up 6 cents in the last week and 46 cents in the last month. Alabama's prices are lower than the national average. Right now, that is $5.01 a gallon. That's your news on this Wednesday. I'm Judd Davis.
I am Stan Cook, and I'm asking for your vote for state auditor. As state auditor, I will protect the taxpayer from spending spree politicians and bureaucratic pirates. I am not a reasonable politician that needs a job. I am a constitutional conservative Christian and a lifelong Republican that has no strings attached to the political elite or corrupt power brokers in Montgomery. Vote Stan Cook for state auditor. Paid for by the committee to elect Stan Cook, P.O. Box 130, Kimberly, Alabama 35009. $49 down to ribbons. Hey, Montgomery Pratt Bills. That's what you're doing with the fun truck sales. That's right. $49 down to the shop over 300 late model light view cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, convertibles, sports cars, America's finest, starting with prices of $6,900 and $49 down delivery. Yep, think your credit report's a little messy? Been told no in the past? Bankruptcy, medical bills, or even a foreclosure? Budget treats everyone with privacy and respect all credit situations. I work with the banks and the lenders that understand your past and know you're more than just a number. You're number one to me. This special relationship allows us 100% credit approval gold. That's right, 100% credit approval gold. Get absolute top dollar for your car. We'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. No trade-in required. Oh, did I say $49 down delivery? Car truck sale. 61 Mendale Parkway, Montgomery, 4508 Queen Smith Road, Prattville. MyBudgetOnline.com. That's right. MyBudget.com.
Big dreams and great music continue on the stage at Alabama Shakespeare Festival with American Mariachi. It's the 1970s, and if you want to be a mariachi, you've got to be a man. Or do you? Laugh and let your heart be warmed as Lucha and friends set out to form an all-girl mariachi band. July 27th through August 21st. Get tickets at asf.net or 334-271-5353. And in case you didn't know, there are no COVID policies in place. So come as you are for an experience you do not want to miss. Also, we're offering you another great sweet deal from Alabama Shakespeare Festival. Starting Friday, June 17th at 8 a.m., head to this radio station's website to get 2 tickets to ASF's performance of American Mariachi for the price of 1. This sweet deal starts at 8 a.m. and offers are limited, so act fast. Friday, June 17th at 8 a.m. Just visit this radio station's website and click Sweet Deals to get your tickets to American Mariachi at Alabama Shakespeare Festival.
Declare your freedom and start your journey. Jeep Freedom Days are here at Taliesin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Your journey will be better in the all-new Grand Wagoneer. Yours is here now. Get more done with a 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn with 0% financing for 60 months. And right now, your trade-in is worth more than ever. TalisieAutomotive.com, where you drive a little, save a lot. With approved credit, must finance through Chrysler Capital. Dealer retains all factory incentives. See dealer for details.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440. Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it's another day, one more, that the Lord has made. You're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. I think we call that a blessing. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440 on your AM dial or newsradio1440.com. If you can't hear us there, we got an app. All you can do is go to your app store. You can check us out on the web, newsradio1440.com, or just grab our app, News Radio 1440. Good morning to you. It is now time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning to you. It is June the 15th, 2022 AD. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Investing in Others. We all should spend a little extra time in doing that, including me. Today's scripture insight comes from Luke 16, 1 through 12. Luke 16:9 says, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is June the 15th. It is a day like all the other days that has never been. And it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day. But more importantly, you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do this day. So whatever it is that you do on June the 15th, 2022, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done this day. If you have lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Or whatever you do, reach out and touch somebody else's life. When you can, while you can, for as long as you can, until you can't. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say that is the standard by which you live life. You should always be successful, or you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can. But you never, never, ever, never give up. Never quit. Because quitters don't win. And winners, where they may fail at a thing or two, they never quit. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine. Investing in others. That is our daily bread for this day, June the 15th, 2022.
Hi, friends, and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. I'm Mike Whitmer, and I titled our reading, Investing in Others. When a corporation offered 1,000 frequent flyer miles for every 10 purchases of one of their foods, one man realized their cheapest product was individual cups of chocolate pudding. He bought more than 12,000. For $3,000, he received gold status and a lifetime supply of air miles for himself and his family. He also donated the pudding to charity, which netted him an $800 tax write-off. Genius! In Luke chapter 16, Jesus told a controversial parable about a cunning manager who, as he was being fired, reduced what debtors owed his master. The man knew he could rely on their help later for the favor he was doing them now. Jesus wasn't praising the manager's unethical business practice, but he knew we could learn from his ingenuity. Jesus said we should shrewdly use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. As the pudding guy turned 25-cent desserts into flights, so we may use our worldly wealth to gain true riches. What are these riches? Jesus said, "Give to the poor, and you will provide purses for yourselves that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys." Our investment doesn't earn our salvation, but it does affirm it. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Luke chapter 16, verses 1 through 12. Jesus told his disciples, "There was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, 'What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be manager any longer.' The manager said to himself, 'What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do, so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses.' So he called in each one of his master's debtors. He asked the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' 900 gallons of olive oil,' he replied. The manager told him, 'Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 450. Then he asked the second, 'And how much do you owe?' 1,000 bushels of wheat,' he replied. He told him, 'Take your bill and make it 800. The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? Let's pray. Loving God, help us to invest in the poor, for Jesus' sake and yours. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread
Our
Ministries.
Daily Bread. Okay, there you go. Time to get up. Time to ride and shine. Here we go. All the way. I'm on sick call today. Hurt my side. So I can't be running this morning. But I'll call the cadence with a horn.
Run
To the sun.
No sweat.
Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knees.
Down in the mess hall on my knees.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Nothing to eat but a can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
Bread was molded and the meat was wet.
You know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne. All the way.
To be
And 82nd Airborne needs a breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
all the way airborne air.
All right, I'm getting motivated. I am getting motivated.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. Early one morning in the drizzling.
Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light. Ho! All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on.
Here we go,
Here we go,
all the way.
all the way.
Gotta be
Rough and tough, airborne, all the way. Now it's time for our second to the last run of the week. So you guys need to get out there. Now I'm gonna sit call first sergeant. My side hurts.
Run some more.
Run a little, run some more.
When your left foot strikes the ground.
When your left foot strikes the ground,
Let me hear that clapping sound.
let me hear that clapping sound. Oh, all the way. Right up,
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Gonna run.
gonna run.
Hollywood.
Hollywood,
Hollywood.
Hollywood,
Looking good.
looking good. All right,
On
dynamite.
everybody.
Everybody, oh no, everybody, let me hear you. In the rear, keep it tight. In the middle, dress it right. Oh yeah,
Steady, steady, up and ready.
Robert. 80 do.
Tom,
Here we go.
80 deuce. Airborne.
Airborne.
Ain't it mean?
Listen, I'm on sick call today. My side is killing me.
Right, okay. Sick call.
Yeah, I'm on sick call today. That's good. Motivated. Dedicated. Wanna be. Airborne. Wanna be. Okay. All right, I'm on sick call today, so I didn't get a chance to do the run today, but I'll do it twice tomorrow. Okay, I promise. I'll knock it out. But until then, let us pay homage to all of our armed forces of the United States of America: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Space Force. And don't forget the Montgomery Police Department, the Montgomery Fire Department, the fire medics, the Montgomery Sheriff Department. Good morning, Sheriff Cunningham. Good morning. And to His Honor the Mayor, Honorable Stephen Reed, and to the police chief. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Montgomery Sanitation Department. They get to work before I do in the morning. So hey, gotta cut them some props. But last but not least, this is all the people who go in when everybody else is running the other way. Airborne. Needless to say, soldiers, sailors, airmen. Okay, I don't even need to say that one. Of course not. Oh yeah, and a special shout out to all those soldiers of the sky who put a parachute on their back, put their life and limb in danger in order to get there and help somebody. The United States Army paratroopers. And let's give a special shout out to all the cooks in the military. Because the Army may run on their feet, but they survive on their stomach. I'm just telling you. And a special shout out to the paratrooper cooks, okay? Mm-hmm. And of course, the United States Marine Corps, whose motto is Semper Fidelis, or Semper Fi, because they couldn't spell that one. Anyway, it all means the same thing, whether it's Semper Fi, Semper Fidelis. It means always, always faithful. Don't you wish a lot of people were? Okay, I'm going to tell that story one more time, and then I'll be done with it, about me and the Marine Corps. Because obviously somebody has dropped the ball on that task, okay? Because I should have been made an honorary Marine years ago. I'm just telling you. But I'm all right with the Army too. So Sergeant Elkins is reporting for duty. Sir! And Army of One, Army Strong. We keep changing our motto every year, every couple of years. I don't know what it is now. Home of the 82nd Airborne, 1st Special Forces, SOCOM, PSYOPs, all the rest of them places too, you know, the place to go. And don't forget Fort Benning, 90 miles up the road, okay? I've only been to Fort Benning like once since I've been here. Yeah, just once. Went down to see they got a beautiful museum down there. Me and Z went down there. And we went down there to check it out, and it looks pretty good, as a matter of fact. And Marcia went down there too. So, you know, we checked it out. Of course, they don't really know much about, you know, they don't know much about that stuff. But it was really interesting to go down there. You can't go to Fort Benning without getting a sense of pride. And it is the home of the United States Army Infantry School. Matter of fact, I believe Fort Benning is probably bigger than Montgomery. Anyways, what a great place! What a great asset that we have. I think that's south of us, or west of us, or north of us, or east of us. I'm not exactly sure. Land nav was not my forte. You know, I mean, if I heard something going wrong the other way, I went the other way. So I'm just saying that's how I did my land. I did have a land nav course. Obviously, I didn't pass it. You know, but hey, you know, my job was to get the beans and the bullets, baby, to the front line. Okay, that's what I did. Anyway, good morning to you. Anybody remember the Mermite can? Anybody have to remember a Mermite can? Remember, I mean, you would put stuff in a Mermite can, and it would turn green on a brother. You know, so you know that old song, Green Eggs and Ham? Yeah, that's what some of them got sometimes, green eggs. I don't know what was up with that, but that's what happened. Anyway, good morning. But when you're hungry, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what you'll eat when you're hungry. And I'm still trying to figure. I was on a forced road march. It was like a 20-mile road march one time, and I had sea rations in my pack, but they wouldn't let us eat the sea rations. Okay, I guess they was training us to starve, and I was absolutely starving at that moment. And there was something on the ground, and until this day, I still don't know what it was, but I sure ate it. Okay, all I knew, it was edible, so I ate it. Until this day, I still don't know what it was. I'm telling you, when you get hungry, when you get so hungry that you are seeing aberrations, okay, you are seeing things that aren't there. Yeah, that's when you're ready to try anything. Dog, cat, squirrel, monkey, tiger. It doesn't make any difference. You are going to eat something, all right? And matter of fact, there's sometimes your body starts to look good. I don't listen. That's hunger, and that's where I was too. I was in the Rangers at that time. That was a terrible thing. Then they put me in the swamps. Swamps. I mean, come on, man. And when you're 5'6" and 3/4, and you got a 90-pound rucksack on your back with a weapon and all that stuff, and you drink a lot of water. You drink a lot of water going through the swamp. Okay, like to drown a couple of times, hypothermia, all that kind of thing. But then again, you know what? It made me a better man. It really did. Okay, because now I can go in the swamps and not drown. At least I hope not. Anyway, good morning to you. It is 6:34 in the morning. We're actually going to talk about the Democratic Party. Not the party, but there is a candidate who's been what do you call that? Qualified or bona fide or bona fide or something like that. Sabrina Martin, and it's in Alabama Daily News, got a story up this morning, and now I understand why she didn't come up here to this show. Now I understand. Now I personally wouldn't have got on her too much about this, but now I understand. So now that Montgomery, the Alabama, they got, well, Montgomery Democratic Party, whatever they call it, they got themselves in a little bit of a fiasco here. Did they not vet her before she ran under their banner? Of course, now somebody told me yesterday that you can't stop people from running under Democrat or Republican banner, and I find that hard to believe. I mean, if you don't believe anything I believe, then why should you be run under the banner? And I'm thinking something too. Here's what I'm thinking. Now, I want you guys to think about this for 1 second. Then I've got to take a break. We'll come back. I want to think about this for 1 second. You cannot go down Zelda Road, East Chase. You can't go down any of those places and only see one store. Okay? You can't. You can't go. We have more than one hamburger joint in Montgomery. We got a plethora of schools of different sizes, different shapes, different curriculums. We got all of these things. Okay. We even have more than vanilla and chocolate ice cream. We got multiple flavors by which to choose from. So here's the question that I gotta ask somebody this morning. Why do we only have two parties to vote for in Alabama? Why do we got private parties who get government assistance in running their private elections? So why is that? I mean, what if I don't want to vote for a Democrat or Republican? I mean, every once in a while you'd get a libertarian, but they never got enough votes to be considered serious. Even though I do consider, but they got some issues too. So why can't everybody just put their name on a ballot and whoever gets one more vote than everybody else wins? Why can't we just do that? Because, okay, I'll tell you what. Because it never has been, it never will be about you. Okay? You are the voter in America today is like free labor. And let me ask you guys something. Would you go to somebody's job and work 8 hours a day and just leave and never get paid? Well, that's what you do when you vote for these particular parties. The only people that the particular party has to satisfy are those who actually belong to the party. Voting for the party does not make you a member of the party. So the things that they do, you are the least thing on their mind. That is why nothing ever changes for the voter. Okay? It only changes for the votee. Now I want y'all to think about that for a second. They don't vote the way you want to because you're not part of the Democratic or the Republican, and the Republicans are the same. You don't belong to the Republican Party because you vote Republican. You actually have to sign up and vote and sign up to be part of the party. And here's another thing. You guys do know that when they do all this redistricting, it's got nothing at all to do with a fairness to you, the voter. No. These are, and why do we invest money in private parties? They're private parties. Why is our government investing money if they're that tough? Then why don't they just do their own election? I'm just asking the question. I don't know. Anyway, let me take a break and we'll be back. Okay, so when the next time, like next Tuesday, when you decide to go into, to go into the booth and vote for who vote for who you choose, but please, please, I beg you, do not go in there to vote thinking that you're voting for somebody to look out after you. Unless you are a member of the Republican or the Democratic Party, they don't give one iota about what you think. Redistricting is not for you, it is for the politicians. So again, I don't understand how come our government is involved in pushing or supporting private parties. But hey, I mean, that's just the way I see it. That's why nothing has ever changed. Because you're not in consideration. Do you actually believe that when they go down there and come up with legislation, they come up with legislation to rule you? Okay? Not to govern you, but to rule you. I'm just saying, that's just the way I see it. Been around a couple years now, so I finally got it. The light's on. Lordy, the light is on. And I don't like what it's shown. We'll be back with more important things. And the fire. For the fire to the lid. And they don't even if you write the name in, how you know they're going to count them? You don't. You don't know they're going to count them. through the fire. Okay, we're here. Okay. All right. When I should have the microphone up, I don't, and I went to that whole segment with the microphone on, so I sure hope I didn't say nothing crazy. I've been known to do that every once in a while. Anyway, good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing this morning? I hope everybody's doing well. You know, I don't normally take calls this hour. I just don't, because I don't have time. So I mean, sometimes it depends on what kind of situation I'm in. But y'all call me next hour. We'll talk more. Anyway, 860. Well, don't even worry about calling. So don't even worry about that. We got other things to talk about right now. We have lessons of life. And listen, that's the most important part of the show is lessons of life, because there are things we learn as we get older that we don't otherwise learn. Okay. But first, the word of the day. Now, you know, now this is an interesting word, because you guys know that when you're at work these days, I mean, if you give a woman a compliment today, you are subject to be hauled into HR and said that that's sexual harassment. You're right. I mean, it is what it is. You may be called in there, and so you got to learn how to do these things in a suave way, okay, that they don't exactly know what you're saying, okay. And so today I have a word to help the brothers out in the office space, where you can give a compliment and nobody can call you up and say, that's sexual harassment. No. Because I guarantee you, 9.9% of the people, okay, won't know what the meaning of this word is, okay? So you'll be cool. You can use this in the office. Now, again, this is just my opinion, because don't be saying I heard Elkins on the radio say I could say this, and next thing you know, they hold your butt up to HR. I'm just saying, you can probably, get away with saying they look pretty good, okay? And the word is EYESOME. EYESOME, ISOM. Now, ISOM means pleasant to look at. So you can be going down the hall. You can say, hey, Miss Jones, you have an ISOM day. Now, she'll never know what that means. Okay, but what you just said, you was a fine mamma jamma. Okay, but she don't know that. Okay, so she can't be running up there talking about he was sexually harassing me. She won't know. Okay, ISOM. Say you are an ISOM today. Okay, she'll never know. Because first of all, she got to know how to spell it. Chances are she won't know how to spell it. Okay, EYESOME, ISOM. It means pleasant to look at. Okay, so I just helped all the brothers out right now. All right. Now, lessons of life. Now, I heard Martin Luther King say this. And it wasn't until you get a little age on you that you understand what it means. So I'm going to share with you guys this morning because it still has the same meaning. Okay, even though Martin's been gone a while, it still has the same meaning. And either he said it or somebody said it, but I remember him saying it. When you find something in life worth dying for, that is when, and only then, you will find the things of life worth living for. Okay, again, let me say it one more time so you get it. When you find something in life worth dying for, that is when you'll find a thing in life worth living for. Now, you cogitate on that, and I'm going to other things. You cogitate on that, and I think you'll get the message. It is June the 15th. It is the 166th day of the year. There are 199 days of the year left. It was on this day in 1215, English King John put his seal on the Magna Carta, the Great Charter at Runnymede. 1775, the Second Continental Congress voted unanimously to appoint George Washington as head of the Continental Army. In 1864, Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton signed an order establishing a military burial ground, which became Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. And if you ever wonder what Memorial Day is all about, in the sacrifices of this country, and this is not the only place, but I believe if you ever go there, the silence tells the story. And the rows and the rows and the rows and the rows of laid to rest soldiers, sailors, airmen, and marines who gave the ultimate sacrifice for this nation. 1902, on this day, the 20th Century Limited, an express passenger train between New York and Chicago began service. The Limited made its last run in 1967, so it lasted 65 years. Wow, that's good. 1904, more than 1,000 people died when a fire erupted aboard a steamboat, General Slocum, in New York's East River. See, that's why I don't like boats. See, that's why I don't like ships, unless it's an aircraft carrier, and sometimes they scare me too, but I'm not getting on anything that I can't run the hell out of there. I'm just telling. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. 1934, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed an act making the National Guard part of the United States Army in the event of war or national emergency. 1944, American forces began their successful invasion of Saipan during World War II. B-29 super fortresses carried out their first raids on Japan. 1955, the United States and Britain signed a cooperative agreement concerning atomic information for mutual defense purposes. The year was 1985. The Shiite Muslims hijackers of a TWA Boeing 727 beat and shot one of their hostages, U.S. Navy diver Robert Stevens, 23 years old, throwing him off the plane to die on the tarmac in the Beirut airport. 1988, the baseball romantic comedy Bull Durham, starring Kevin Costner and Susan Sarandon, was released by Orion Pictures. And that was an unforgettable movie. That was a forgettable movie. 1996, Ella Fitzgerald, the first lady of song, died in Beverly Hills, California at the age of 79. In 2003, from a deadline passed by the Iraqis to hand in heavy weapons, U.S. forces fanned out across Iraq to seize arms and put down potential foes. And it was 11 years ago, pushing back against congressional criticism, the White House said that the President Barack Obama had the authority to continue U.S. military action in Libya, even without authorization from lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Arizona Representative Gabriel Giffords was released from a hospital, a Houston hospital, 5 months after being shot in the head during a Tucson political event. The Boston Bruins won the Stanley Cup. and the first time in 1972, beating the Vancouver Canucks 4-0 in Game 7. And finals, angry, drunken Vancouver fans, of course, ran wild, setting cars on fire and looting stores. So I guess that's not just an American tradition, that's a food tradition. Okay, so let me get this right. Your team wins, so you tear up the city. Now the team's got to go up on its tickets because you didn't tore up the city, and so they got to help pay for it. I'm just saying. Now the ticket next year is going to cost you more money, and for years to come, because you were an idiot. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, 1 year ago, or 2 years ago actually, the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision ruled that a landmark civil rights case protects gay, lesbian, and transgender people from discrimination in employment. Now, you know, if you want to know what's the most insulting thing that has happened to all of our civil rights laws, it is this thing, where we're going to throw people who decide to bend over and take one for the team, they going to get the same rights based on what was done to black folks in America. Transgender. What the hell has that got to do with civil rights? Okay. Oh, no, come on, there. Both y'all good together. Because you late anyway. Anyway, wait a minute. I gotta go. I mean, we have taken the United States civil rights thing and just killed it. You know, that was for black folks, and now we gave it to everybody. Every screwball in America now gets protection under the U.S. civil rights law. I mean, come on, man. Okay. Well, that's what he did. They are taking one for the team. And yesterday, I went to the Montgomery Men's Health thing. Yeah, I'm gonna find out what my tea is today. Yeah, if I got low tea or high tea, or if I got sweet tea. Anyway, I gotta go sweet tea. Okay, we'll find out today. Okay, which tea I got. High tea, low tea, or sweet tea. So we'll figure that out. But I had a fun time over there. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that when okay, never mind. I mean I had an exceptionally good visit is what I mean. Saying I had a good time is just not in the men's center. It's just not it's just not appropriate because you guys would take all things out of context. So I gotta go and try to straighten that up. So we'll be back. Uno momento. What's my there's my thing right there. So and again I screwed up one of my I got two guests. One of my guests was wrong as the day is long.
No, I have mediation at 8. I want to come out and say
okay. Oh no, that works. Oh, okay. I didn't think I was wrong this time. Anyway, we'll be back. Give you a little bit Eric Benet. Low tea, hot tea, or sweet tea? I know some people with sweet tea. We'll be back.
Since you on the way down here, I'm glad you took that. I'm glad you.
Because
that's no problem. Yeah, I'm gonna go down here on the exit. We have a mediation.
Okay. Well, we're not. So when you're here and
you can handle that from the legal end because that's
we don't
But you're coming down tomorrow, right?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay.
It'll still be.
Oh yeah. It'll still be.
Because
handle it from a legal end because it's just messy on the other end.
Because the deal is okay, but the only way that she can be pulled off is you got to do a write-in. But it is their party. It is the Democratic Party. I guess they got a right to.
Well, my question is, if it is in fact true, then she's not committed to even practice law. You know.
Yep. Yellow.
So you have to disqualify. Well, the election is one thing over here. So you handle it from the legal end because me looking at it from election standpoint. Yeah, she was duly elected. Now for qualifications and for eligibility and all of that, now that's questionable. That's period. And we're not talking. You got to keep the election and that separate. Those are two separate issues. And therefore, I don't want to get into a legal
I'm Deborah
area in
Rodriguez.
there
The
and
Federal
just give
Reserve is set to
opinions about
announce
stuff.
another rate hike today
It's
with
mud.
the goal of slowing down
It's
soaring
mud.
prices
See, this
for
is right.
everything
And
from
now,
groceries
and I'm
to
not going
gas
through mud.
to
You know,
rent
there,
and mortgage
there's
payments.
some things that should have been disclosed. That she
is
didn't
in
disclose.
Washington.
That's on her.
Interest rates
And I'm not getting it because there are some people who just want to fight. And I don't like fighting.
One-time hike in nearly 30 years. Tuesday's wild market swings ended down, fueled by fears the Fed will go too fast.
Futures are up.
Well, the devil is in the
The El
details
Monte,
because I read,
California
you know, on
Police Department is warning
AL.com, I
loss
read
of two
the
officers who were
statements
shot
by
and killed
foster kids.
when they were ambushed
You see,
responding to a report of a stabbing at a local
and I
hotel.
don't want to talk about it because you see, I have
One of the officers was a veteran
adopted
police
brothers. My mother
officer.
taught foster care. I don't know, you know, my mother used to be on the longest running commercial in the state of Alabama. Open your heart,
He
open
says
your
they
heart.
got into a shootout with
Okay,
a suspect in the parking
that's
lot
mine.
as he tried to
Okay,
escape.
those two little boys,
The
they're
gunman
grown
was
now.
killed. The
Okay,
officers
so
died
I'm
in
very
the hospital.
familiar with
Investigators
the
are
system.
interviewing a woman
Yeah,
who
she
was
taught the
in that
class
hotel room
over there
believed to be
for
the shooter's
DHR.
girlfriend. A rape survivor
And
in
a lot of
Louisiana
people
has
over there
been
know
ordered
me
to
because,
pay her
you know, they know my
alleged
brothers
attacker.
and they
Then
know me
16-year-old Krista
and they know my
Nicholson
mom.
says she was
And
raped
she
by a
also was
30-year-old local
Department
man
of
after a
Corrections.
night of drinking and
So-
became pregnant from the attack. Police never acted on her report, and a judge went on to award full custody to her alleged attacker, ordering her to pay him child support. In the resulting public outcry, the local district attorney says he'll now review the case. A corruption watchdog
But,
wants to refer to an
yeah,
independent
so you understand where I am on that. I know that it's, and I don't want to disparage any person who's been in that because I know there are some things that happen in
nominee for U.S. Senate. He's endorsed by former President Trump and has supported false claims of election fraud. He'll take on Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto.
Because I can tell you a case, Mama
Jim
was
Marsden is
arrested
the
for
Republican
parent
nominee for Secretary
That
of
means
State.
that, you know, automatically the kid was taken out. There's a kid who was taken out of his home
Parts of Yellowstone
for
National
being
Park could
physically
be closed
abused.
for
He
the
was
rest of the summer.
juvenile diabetic.
Astonishment as
His
the
sugar
house was
level was
washed away.
off the chain.
Historic flooding.
Okay, my mom's also a nurse, so they put him with her. Okay, mom took him to the doctor and they put in sugar, and it was
The house
excessively
floated
high.
for 5 miles before it
Then
sank.
she said, well,
There's another
let's
scorcher
go back
on tap
again.
in the nation's
So they
midsection,
found
and
out
these two in
that his
Chicago are
acceptable
planning
level
ahead.
for sugar was higher than the normal person. So what was normal for him would be catastrophic for you or I. And that's what she, by her experience as being a nurse and working, my grandmother was a diabetic, and working with diabetics before and having knowledge of diabetes.
Need to know what it takes
She
for a homeowner to
understood,
fit your budget
she and the
and
doctor
your
got
family.
together and said,
Rocket can.
no, this family did not. They were saying that kid wasn't receiving his proper medication. So therefore, that was considered abuse. And they took the kids out. So I know that kids are taken out for different reasons, and kids say things. So I don't know everything in that situation. And then she and her former husband were nominated as foster care parents of the year and stuff. So you know, there's some questions. I don't take everything on the face value of what people say. You got to have both sides of the story.
Show the record
Yeah.
of Unadvanced Suspect. It's just launched on Newsmax. Each night at 6 p.m. Eastern, Greta is reporting the real news and without the media spin. She's smart, tough, and always fair. Find Greta on Newsmax, America's fastest growing news channel. Millions have switched to Newsmax. Find out why.
See you
If
down
your
here,
cable
got a
doesn't carry
video saying,
Newsmax, call them,
let me
demand
call.
it. Make
I heard
the
you on the
switch
radio,
today.
but man,
Newsmax
you
is
didn't let me know. I
real
remember how to
news
get
for
down here.
real people.
There you
Average
go.
gas prices of more than $5 a gallon aren't stopping
where's it?
Americans from going on vacation.
Pandemic cabin fever is
All right,
fueling
you
a
take
surge
care,
in
man.
travel
I got
and
a good
tourism,
thing. I
despite
just
record
got-
high gas prices and inflation.
When you
Morgan
get
Brookshire is
65,
with
you
the
should
tourism
not
office
still
in
young.
Lexington, North
No, you
Carolina.
should
You're able
not
to get out and explore and do all of these
shovel
things that
rock.
they've seen on TV or scrolling through Facebook
Like
the last 2 years.
500
They're actually able to
pound
go
rock.
themselves
This
and
is your
experience it in
outfit.
person.
Industry experts say
Everyone,
summer travel
wait till
could
you
be
get
as much as
everyone.
10%
Hey,
higher than pre-pandemic levels.
that's why I'm
Jim
probably
Priscilla,
still here,
CBS News,
because
Lexington, North
I ain't laying
Carolina.
in bed
As the
somewhere.
war in Ukraine
You just
rounds
out of
into a
shape.
fourth
I can
month,
show you, I can do
IKEA says
10
it'll scale
yards
down
of it,
operations
just like
further
that.
in Russia and Belarus.
I call Bravo
Now,
Sierra.
Now the company
I
says
agree.
it has no
Okay,
timeline
come over
for
to the house.
restarting.
I got something still in the
No, I can show you what I've done.
No, I don't care what you've done. I'm talking about now.
You just have no stamina.
CBS News.
I didn't say I didn't get it done, bro.
Mhm.
I just said that my side hurts because I did it.
Yeah, there you go. You're not in shape. I'm in shape.
Okay.
That's the difference.
I still got the rocks over there. Okay. So, and now you come over there and do as many buckets as I did, and then we gotta wait till the next day to see whether or not you have any.
Bro, I do it all. Wait a minute. What do you say buckets? What are you doing?
I mean wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrows of rock.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one time it was good to have a 15-year man.
Where did you take them from, too?
She had them. They loaded in the driveway, and we had to take them to the right to the. She put up a flower thing or something.
Mm-hmm. Was it Crush Run or Rock?
What's that mean?
Crush Run has a power in it. Rocks are just rocks.
Now these
Crush Run goes in the driveway.
Oh no, these are just rock. They're little bitty.
Oh, so those are power. So that's gravel.
Okay,
They're
man.
brown and white.
No, they ain't brown. Yeah, they're white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, landscaping all the time. Matter of fact, I've got to spray some today. I don't use.
What's you spraying them for?
Well, the grass grows between the gravel if you have it real thin, which is Crush Run. And what you do is you spray it with vinegar and salt. The vinegar will kill the green immediately, and the salt will dehydrate the root. So that's the non-toxic. Now you can't do that everywhere. I do it in places where the grass is above the gravel, so it won't leach into the grass. So I have it designed that way. And then around vegetables, see in the garden, I don't put toxic material there at all. I just use the vinegar. And then away from, because I use the concrete blocks as a raised bed, so therefore it separates it from the gravel, so it won't leach into the and dehydrate the roots of the plant. Matter of fact, I picked some cucumbers this morning. Cucumbers, tomatoes, and okra. Well, that's fiber. That's good for you.
Fiber, but I'll eat cabbage. I'll eat cabbage or greens.
Cabbage head.
That okra.
Cabbage head. You're just.
Ready to tackle any project that comes your way.
I didn't think I had the day wrong. He kind of confused when I.
No. I saw him down there, and he said he just came and wanted to just yell in. He'll be here next Wednesday. He said he knew I was on today, and he just wanted to yell at us and say hello. And see you next Wednesday.
You just want to be up next to the master.
I tell you. And who's the master? Is that you or I?
Yeah, that's you. Listen, I found out something yesterday. I understand now why black folks mad. I understand now why some black people still mad.
Where did you find out?
Okay.
Let me find out.
This afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
All right, this is for my son. Okay, he's a millennial. Yeah. Thank God for a leave, and one of the DJs had some because I was in pain. But I'm a soldier. I got to show. I can't go on sick call. I had to show up. Anyway, good morning to you. How's everybody doing this morning? You know, it's Wednesday. It's the second one.
Third.
Is it third?
Third.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Donald Jenkins with us. We're going to talk about a lot of things this morning, hopefully. But first, let me tell you about one of our sponsors, which is JL Lane. JL Lane Truck and Auto, located on 208 Gun Road in Montgomery, Alabama. If you are looking for an automobile, a pre-loved automobile, we don't like to use the word used, pre-loved automobile, that they do a plethora of checks on before they even give it to you. You know, it ain't one of those places where you just go buy a car, go in the lot, see something you like, it's good and shiny, you take it off the lot and you own your own. No, they don't do that. They check it out for you to make sure that it will, first of all, satisfy you and that you don't turn around and have to bring it back. Okay. JLLaneTruckandAuto.com is where you can go. Now that's all one word. JLLane Truck and Auto. Now, and is AND, not AN. Okay, AND. Truck. JLLane Check Truck and Auto. Okay, Truck and Auto. So go there and you got the inventory. And I'm trying to sell this Lexus. They got a beautiful Lexus out there, black one. You know, I love black cars. I do love black cars. I don't have a black car, but I love black cars because black cars sometimes cost a little bit more money. Brother, go there. I'm too old to worry about the color now. So anyway, go over there and see them. Talk to Steve or talk to Kathy. Okay, check it out because you know there's somebody gonna be 16 this year or 17 this year. I don't know if I'm satisfied with 16-year-olds having cars. But anyway, some people think. But if you want to get one that's safe, one that's mechanically sound, this is the place you want to go. I've been knowing Mr. Lane now for 13, 14 years. Okay, good guy. So give him a call at 272-4313. But you can go online at JLLaneTruckandAuto.com and you'll be able to see the inventory. So you can be sitting there butt naked, nobody but you in the window, and you can be looking at the car that you want to buy. Okay. So again, that website is JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. I guess it's well, he's really not a guest. Our what do we call you? Our co-host this morning is Donald Jenkins, and he's with us. I don't know who in the world that calling this morning already, because I ain't really said that. Well, no, that's not quite true. I've said a lot of things this morning. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Found out something yesterday, and I'll like you to get your conversation, get your thoughts on this. Good morning. Who's this? I'm doing fine.
Good morning, Donald.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
A while ago, I think you left the impression with your audience that you were the Ranger. You want to correct that?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to correct that. That's where no, I don't have the Ranger tab. Well, if you're in there, yeah. No. You know what? I get tired of a guy who was in the Air Force telling me what I did. I know what I did. I mean, come on, bro. Now, do you have anything else more important to say? Matter of fact, I said I was with the Rangers. It's what I always say. Okay, so now, wait a minute. Give me something else, brother, because your leg, you don't even have a set of jump wings, so I normally don't talk to legs. So I'm at least giving you some conversation this morning. So do you have anything else more prudent to talk about? Yeah.
We were going to talk about the prisoner stuff.
Yeah.
You said the other day somebody was arrested for leaving a dog in the car. What did that happen?
That happened. It was in the paper it happens all the time. It happens. They arrest people all the time for cruelty to animals for leaving. It did. About 2 days ago. Let me ask you something. Why would I have to make up a story like that? Yeah, okay. Wait. If you go to Google and type in person arrested for leaving their dog in their car, you'll come up with a bunch of stories. It did have, I didn't say Alabama. I said I found it was in the paper. Yeah. Go right ahead.
Why would anybody pay $100 for PSA when you get it under your normal insurance?
Again, and you take forever to get it. They got to approve it, all that stuff. Wait a minute. Now nobody's making you go. So why are you worried about it? I mean, but why are you worried about it? You don't have to go. There are sponsors, and they're doing a good job with it. Went over there yesterday, checked it out, and it don't take long. Let me ask something. How long, if you go to your doctor, how long does it take to get the information back? Yeah. Well, I'm not lying about this. I'm finna hang up on you. Yeah. Now which lie have I told about that one? That's what I keep trying to tell you, my friend. I served with him for 18 months. So you think that makes me less of a soldier than anybody else? No. When you go, okay. Okay, whatever. I really don't have to argue with you. I mean, I don't have to argue with you. I don't have to prove anything to you. You don't affect my check, so we good. All right. So much for that. I think he's jealous. He's just jealous. He ain't got no wings, so he's just jealous. I ain't mad at him. Good morning. I'm tired of talking to you too because you did what you weren't supposed to do yesterday. So, moving right along.
Okay.
Moving right along. Anyway, this is what I found yesterday. I believe it or not, I was listening to CNN, which is by accident because normally I don't listen to CNN or MSNBC. But the other day I was listening to MSNBC, and they got a young lady over there, a black lady. She's sort of black. I don't know what she actually is. She looks like she's got a little black in her. And she was a beautiful hairdo. Normally I don't like them things, but she looks good in her. She was talking about towns in the South that were once viable black communities, but have been flooded and made out of lakes. Now I said, hey, come on, who does that? I mean, where you can actually go in the water and see old post offices still there. I found Lake Martin is one of those places that used to be called Benson, Alabama. And if you go in Lake Martin deep enough, you'll see that they're telling the truth. I never heard anything like that. Did you know that?
Yeah. But when they built that dam in the 1920s,
right, 20s.
I mean, Lake Martin covers like 44,000 square acres or something.
So where'd the water come from?
When they built the dam,
right,
dammed the river, it caused the water to back up, and therefore it created one of the largest man-made lakes in Alabama.
So were the
Smith Lake is one.
So did they pay the people for the property, or did they just?
Now, I don't know what the because the Alabama Power did it. So what Alabama Power did to give those people money to move, I don't know. I can't say. We're talking about the 1920s, okay?
I mean, that was amazing.
There are a lot of things, and there are several small towns that are under there. Yes, and even there are several small towns up under that water. The TVA and Tennessee Valley Association and the Alabama Power did back those up. And,
so these are man-made lakes.
Yeah, yes, it's a man-made lake. It was a river that was backed up.
Wow.
And actually right now, I have friends who have a property up there that they originally owned property that was on high land, and now it's a lake in there. And they have their houses, because it's hilly, their houses are up on the hills, which go down to the lake. As a matter of fact, I'll probably go by there today.
So if you don't have a lake, you just make one.
No, that's Kevin. It's a very large piece of water, and that's where a lot of hydroelectric power comes from in the state of Alabama. It comes from around this area. That's where it comes from.
So if you don't have a lake, you make one.
Alabama Power built a dam to force the water through there, and then that gives you the hydroelectric power. That's the main purpose of it, and therefore it was turned into a recreation area and for houses and so.
I just wonder what happened to the people. What happened to the people that lived there?
They were relocated. Now, how they relocated them, I don't know. How much they paid, I don't know. That's Alabama Power. You'd have to go and ask Alabama Power that.
So people didn't just wake up one day and
they didn't just wake up and
down.
No. It took years. It was a yearly process. It took years. It started in the 1920s, and then it was improved upon in the 50s. So it didn't just all of a sudden say, one day we'll back up this water and run over this town. And as a matter of fact, there's a church that's down there that's on the map. When you go to Lake Martin and you look on the map, because they can't be too close for boats to hit something there.
Right.
So they know where the things are that are under the water and how deep they are, because I think it's 150 feet.
Such a graveyard.
Well, they moved several thousand graves, Kevin. They moved them. The Alabama Power paid to do that. It's against the law to do things with graves that are not permitted by law. You have to move the grave.
Right, but essentially they made the town a graveyard.
No, it's not a graveyard. It's just underwater. It's no longer a town. There's nothing there. You're exaggerating.
Well, I don't know. I never heard of such a thing.
Well, I heard of it because I know people who own property up there. And I know what their property was at one time back in the 50s and what it is now. It was just a hilly land at one time, and now it's a lake. And you can look over and see the dam over there, and it's not like those who were smart enough to utilize the land that was on high land and make it their, I mean, it was farmland, and then they put houses there, and then the higher the lake got, they just started putting piers. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine is putting a new pier in now. It's been there for about 30 years, so now he's putting in a new one. So no, everyone did, and there were several doctors and professionals who bought property up there from one of the black guys who had 40 acres up there. And those houses are there now. I mean, they bought the houses for like $5,000 in the 60s, and now they're worth $300,000 and $400,000. So everyone didn't receive this horrible thing, like you're saying.
Okay.
Because I know, in other words, I know people. As a matter of fact, one of my classmates, his father had one of those houses up there.
That's the first thing I thought. So wait a minute, they flooded.
No, it's not like you're exaggerating and
well, I don't know because I just.
Well, I'm telling you.
Yeah, yesterday.
It wasn't like they just woke up one day and the town was underwater.
All right.
It took years to do that.
Oh, okay.
The water was backed up from the dam, and the dam makes hydroelectric power, and Alabama Power did that. Okay.
But it does seem that most of the places where they did do this, it was black folks.
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, where Benton was. Benton was.
It's more. They're white little towns that are under there too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And one of those, and see, if you speculate and just name only one thing, you're giving incorrect information. But there was a black town there.
Well, it's called
But
Benton.
it was small. Yeah, it was a small town.
Yeah. Okay.
It was predominantly black.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
But,
good. Well, that's why I
but
brought
they
it up,
didn't try
'cause I
to
never
do
heard of it.
anything against them because they were black. It was just
Right.
they just happened to be there, and there were small
Well, you don't
white
really
towns.
know.
I do know.
I mean, you
The Alabama Power, the engineers found a way that they could back the water up and create a man-made lake to
Outstanding.
have hydroelectric power. It had nothing to do with race. Now that's one case where it had nothing to do with race because it was both black and white people who had their property underwater. Now those with the higher land, they ended up having property that was worth 10, 20, 30 times more than it was before because it's now a prime lake property. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to make a big deal out of
Yeah,
it.
you were. I mean, I'm
But-
telling
but
you.
I-
In other words, I know a black family that had over 40 acres there.
Right.
And that land, which used to be pasture land, is now lakefront
Right.
property.
But I
And they
have to-
sell that property from time to time at enormous prices, just a lot.
Right.
You know, you can sell a lot for $100,000.
I mean, I had the same response that most folks up north would have when they find out.
And
when
it's
they
not
found
just
out.
in the north.
Right. Something like this happened. Given the history of the South, you wouldn't think that they would pay, especially in the
Well,
in the 1920s.
When they did Hoover Dam, don't you think a lot of white people were just relocated?
Well, probably so.
That's
but,
another
but they were
man-made
paid. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were paid handsomely.
I don't know what they were.
Yeah, I don't either.
So
I'm
I
just saying.
can't say. I don't
Yeah.
know what the people were
Okay.
paid. I don't know what the people who lost their land.
But there's a bunch of. I just looked at about 10 of them.
Yeah.
10 cities a while ago.
If you pick it out, then hold on. There are also a lot of white cities,
Right.
but it's more white than it is black.
Okay. Well, I mean, that just
I
kind
mean,
of.
that's just factual
Right,
information.
it
You know,
just
I'm not
shocked
being
me.
emotional about
Right,
it.
it just shocked me.
In other words, if you get information and it is presented to you in a way that can paint a story in a certain way, that is what you perceive it to be. But because I do know what happened when they created the man-made lake, Smith Lake, Lake Martin, there were a lot of properties that were underwater.
Well,
that
that's
used to
why.
be dry land.
Some
Some of it was owned by black people. Some of it was owned by white people.
But that's why I asked you because I didn't want to get the wrong impression.
Well,
I did have the wrong impression.
You did have the wrong impression.
Because historically Alabama's not been kind to folks of my youth back in the day.
So that wasn't something where they picked on black people.
Okay.
Because the thousands of acres around that lake, it's all worth a lot of money now. So the people who still own the property that ended up being on the lake, they have very expensive property now, and some of them are black.
Well, that's good.
Right.
All right then. I just never heard such thing in my life. I didn't know you could just make a lake.
Well, where have you been? You
Well,
didn't take geography in school?
Well, sure, but I
Have you ever heard of Hoover Dam?
Yeah, I know about Hoover Dam, but I just hear these things and go to one ear and out
You've
the
never
other
heard
ear.
of Smith Lake?
No.
Smith Lake is one of the cleanest lakes in the United States of America. It's top 10 clean lake. The water is crystal blue.
Let me
And
ask
it's a
something.
lake.
How
And there was
does-
a dam up there, Smith Lake Dam.
What stops the water from being stagnant? Since it is a
It's always
man-made
moving.
lake.
It's always
But where's
moving.
it moving to? It's a
It's a
man-made
river.
lake.
It's a river.
So there's water coming in and out
Yeah.
of there all the time?
That's how it makes the hydroelectric power.
So what happens to the water that's in the man-made lake? Where does it go?
It's moving.
And where's it going?
It just moves. It's fresh and clear water. I mean, it's
Right, but
I'll tell you what you have to do is go and visit.
Well,
one
I've
of
gone.
those.
I've gone up there. I didn't know it was man-made, but I've gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go to Smith Lake.
If you-
Smith Lake is totally different, in my opinion,
Right.
from Lake Martin because it looks different. The
Okay.
water looks different.
No, because I'm thinking let's take a bowl. You take a bowl, you put water in it. Okay, it's bam, you got all the water you need. But there's no place for that water to go in that bowl. So at some point, it's going to become stagnant and
It
dead.
doesn't actually. If you have the growth of those microbes that you see, that's what turns the water. The water on the Gulf is green. It has green water there because and it's not stagnant. It's the material in there. It's the microbes that make it that color, not just the fact of it being stagnant.
Well, right, I'm saying, but water does kind of like get stale.
Kevin.
What? And my bottled water.
Look, if you have the conditions that
Okay.
are right for, and that's usually in warm water,
Right.
you will have those algae and so forth grow in there.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're telling me that Lake Martin water comes in and water continuously
It's continually.
goes out.
Yeah.
So where does it go?
Get a map and look at Lake Martin, okay? You'll see that it moves around all the time. It's moving.
But it's a
It
man.
evaporates.
Yeah.
It turns into rain. And do I have to give you a science lesson?
Well,
here?
no, but I just find that amazing. I didn't know we could build a lake.
This was really fundamental here. This is like something. I feel like I'm talking to my son when he was 5
Whatever,
years old.
whatever.
In this
Okay,
conversation.
I'm from the city, baby. We didn't have no water.
You don't
near
have
us.
to be in the city to know
We
that.
didn't have no water.
You're not from the city. You're from the Midwest.
That's South Bend is a city.
And so is Montgomery.
I know, but y'all got you. The South has always had an interesting history. That the Midwest don't. We stuck up there. We look
Stuck
down.
up what?
We look down on y'all
No,
down in Alabama.
no, you don't.
Yeah,
You can't.
Yeah, they did. I just said they should.
Let me ask
I
you
said
this.
it.
See, you're from a different group than I am.
Yeah.
Do you know where the majority of HBCUs are? They're in the South.
Exactly.
Historically, black colleges
Right.
and universities. So how in the world can dumb Northerners look down on
Listen,
educated Southerners? Okay?
I'm just telling you what the real
Morehouse, Bellman,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
A&M, Alabama A&M,
Listen,
Florida A&M. They're all in the South.
I'm just telling you what the attitude is up
No,
north.
that's the attitude of people who from Mississippi moved to
Yeah.
Chicago and thought that they were Northerners. They're just a Southerner
Yeah,
who
that's
moved to
true,
the
too.
North.
Okay, I guess I get on something else.
Yeah, there you go.
I just found it fascinating that somebody would make a lake in the middle of nowhere.
You just found out that
Yeah.
a man-made lake.
Yeah.
It was not in the middle of nowhere.
Well, the water
It was-
wasn't
it
there.
was planned.
They pumped the water in there.
No, they didn't pump the water in. The water was already there. It was moving. It backed it up.
Good morning. Phew. Pretty good. If you don't know, you're supposed to ask. Listen. Yeah. Tell me right quick. You got to remember that I went in the army at 17. So,
And what's your point?
so I didn't pay much attention to that kind of stuff.
You didn't pay much attention to anything.
No. Except trying to figure out where I was going to eat and what the light's going to be on when I got home.
Okay. Well, that's the basics.
Yeah, because we had a hard time getting them lights on.
I can go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right.
And I talked to me, I tell them let the rain come down and pour on the house and down to the distance, to the river.
Right.
And I'm just laughing at you. But a river that goes to the ocean, and all the Like your name says, get them map and see where the river goes. Yeah, that's a question.
But the problem I got, and maybe my mind is a little naive, but my problem is got, if you make a lake where there was no lake, no natural outlet, then where does the water go when you put it in the big bowl?
Let me ask you this: where does the water come from on the Alabama River? Here in Montgomery.
I imagine it.
Where does it come from?
Alabama River?
No.
Oh no. Okay. Mississippi River?
The Coosa and Tallapoosa.
Oh, okay.
And where does that water come from?
Alabama River?
Yeah. And where does that water come from?
Obviously, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on the water.
You've never heard that when it floods in Montgomery, they say, well, they let the water out at the dam?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay,
but I never
so where is the dam?
I don't know. Lake Martin.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got 3 lakes. You got the Alabama, you got the Tallapoosa, and the Coosa.
Yeah.
The Coosa and the Tallapoosa run together. You can see it on the bridge. And it's the beginning of that Alabama River right there.
Well, ain't no sign out there in the middle of the river that tells me what it is.
Well, he just told you.
ain't no billboard out there. Wait a minute. There ain't no billboard out there that says Alabama and Tucson. This is where we come together. When I look out, when I go to the bridge, all I see is water. Okay, well, not being from Alabama.
Now you know.
I wasn't. Well, I have read plenty of books. The one I was interested in, I read the Guinness World Book of Records a bunch of times.
Yeah. I got old now. I really want to take you around town, take you up to the Lake Martin, Lake George, and also just take you around town to the golf courses. I want you to see my little car.
Okay, well, I don't mind.
Yeah, there you go.
I could go on a field trip one day.
There you go. You need a field trip.
I do. Because okay. Well, I took a couple courses at Chaminade. But again, I'm not from Alabama, so I don't, I didn't, and I lived most of my time. But I really had no reference, no necessity to learn these things. I just had no.
It's called geography.
Yeah, but I had no. Listen, on geography, I'm interested in Interstate 95, 85, and 5. I don't really care about that stuff, but I just find it amazing that we made a river and we took somebody's town and poured water all into it now, and now it's underwater. That's fascinating to me. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, see there. So don't be. So all right then. So don't be talking about me. And you was from here, but you was from here. Right. But you okay? But you from here, man. I wasn't from. I gotta take a break. I forgot. I'm all fascinated with this thing, so I gotta take a break.
Oh, golly. Man, it's hard to believe how naive you are. Wow.
I ain't worried about that kind of thing.
Wow. So you've never heard of Smith Lake?
So
it's beautiful. I mean, it doesn't look like you're in Alabama if you go to Smith Lake.
Well, my thing is, how do you create a river? You create.
No, you don't create a river.
No, but
the river is
you
there.
create the lake, but you take water from someplace. It goes in.
No. The water comes in from the river.
Because it's dammed.
Okay. Now, it's between, this is the end of the Appalachian Mountain Range.
Okay. All right.
So at the end of the range, you have these mountains, but they're smaller mountains. So if you build something in between those mountains, see, it's a mountain over here, a mountain over there, and you build something in between it, then that is called a dam.
And it's going to redirect whichever there. I know what dams do.
Yeah, but what it does is not going to redirect, it's going to back up. So it's going to
Which
go.
is okay.
That wall is 150 feet high. Okay.
It really is?
Yeah. So that means everything behind that 150 feet is that water backs up to that till it comes up. It comes up about 10 feet away from. If you ever seen a picture of a dam where they have a walkway across, some of them have roads that you can drive over. But if you go on there, it's about they keep it usually about 10 feet below the top of the wall. See, they can control how far. If it rains a lot, they've got gates down there that they release, and then that's when the water rises.
But I'm just fascinated that we can.
Well, that's how they build it.
We can throw water on a town and get rid of the town.
That happens. See, the towns are between the mountains.
Right.
Okay. If they're lower than that 150 feet, when that water backs up, it's going to back up. So there is a town that's 150 feet underwater. It's on, and scuba divers go down there and take pictures of it. Yeah, I knew that all. I mean, there are guys who go scuba diving in what you're calling one of the towns in there, and that the one with the church in it. I think that was predominantly white town, but the little black town, everything's gone there. There's nothing there, and there were several cemeteries that were there. And they took pictures of the cemeteries before they removed all the bodies. So they didn't just go in and just say nothing.
I mean, that's what I.
Well,
they just went in there and flooded people's town.
No, it didn't just flood people's town. That happened, and then over a series of years.
Right.
See, in the 1920s, I think it was like 1925.
I think it's 22. What I read.
1920 something. They did the original wall, and then they built some more. So it's dammed up quite a bit over in there. So what you have.
So can you see the dam from Lake Martin?
Yeah, according to where you are on Lake Martin.
Because I go up there sometimes to help people with their computer stuff. And
but see, if you look at a map and look at how big it is, it covers, I think it's like 44 miles. Or like that.
So 44 miles?
Mm-hmm.
A lake?
Yeah. Pull it up on your computer. See, you're thinking it's just one round piece of water. No, that's not what it is. It has tributaries. It's a big piece over here.
So that's where the water goes.
It goes out all like this, and it goes like this. It's not like this. Okay. You're thinking below. No,
that's what I'm thinking.
No, it's like a leaf. It's like your hand. It has things like this. Then there's another one over here.
So it feeds.
There's another one here, and there's another one here, and it feeds into the three rivers he just told you.
Oh, okay.
The Coosa, Tallapoosa, which turn into the Alabama, and then that comes because you got a river that goes right downtown Wetumpka. See, Wetumpka is on high land, so therefore it doesn't flood Wetumpka.
Okay.
Get it?
All right.
So that was lower land. That's all it was. It was lower than the land in Wetumpka. Yeah. And they just backed it up between the mountains.
And I know that I'm not the only person living in this city that don't know this.
Well,
I got an excuse. I'm not from here.
That's not the excuse.
That is it. I had no. It was irrelevant.
So now, what I'm saying is, you may not have known the particulars, but the basics of a dam.
Well, that's not our issue.
Well,
I know what a dam is.
Yeah, you know what it is. But now, I don't think you'd really thought about how they make a dam.
I didn't.
It's a river that comes up.
But if they had told me they're gonna flood my home, I'd have found out about it.
Well, that's been years. They haven't built a dam in what, like 75 years.
Okay, we're back. Good morning, everybody. All right, let me talk about something that I know about. Okay. Fellas, it's called low T, low testosterone. So if you've been feeling sluggish, lethargic, lethargic means sluggish. Okay, just for those folks out there. You're not feeling good. Your libido's gone. You don't care if you do. You don't care if you don't. You just messed up. But that's probably because you got low T. Now, yesterday I went and had my tea done. Yesterday, okay, I didn't have sweet tea. I don't have high tea. I don't think I got low T. But we're gonna find out today which one of them teas I got. I'll let you know tomorrow when I find out today. But you got $100 is all of it. It'll change your life. Testosterone is the chemical in a man's body that makes him the man. Unless you don't want to be a man and you decide you want to be something else, then you're still a man. We're gonna leave that alone. Anyway, so here's what you do. Okay, Montgomery Men's Health. I went over there yesterday, and it's a great, and it don't take all day to get it done. You go in there, it's a beautiful place, and you sit in there, and they know your name when you get there. I don't know how they knew my name, but maybe because I was on time for my appointment. Anyway, 334-440-3663. 334-440-3663. It was a pleasant experience, believe it or not. It really was. I said, okay, I should have did this a long time ago, just to make sure things was working all right. So you might want to go over there and get it done. Make sure, because if you're feeling bad, your energy, your testosterone. When you hit 40 years old, with some of y'all way past 40, it starts to go downward. Okay, you just need to get a little boost, and plus they check on your they check your PSA, which means your prostate. I don't know much about that. You got to ask them when they get over there. I learned a lot of things yesterday. Okay, I'm just saying it was interesting. So y'all need to get your T checked, because you might have low T. Okay. Want me to make you an appointment? Okay, I'm just trying to help a brother out. Okay, I'm talking about you. No. Okay, when they make you appointment. Okay, that's good. You don't need one. See, I need one. I've been out from the flow out, so we're good. Anyway, 860-1440 is the number here. When you give us a call, I'll talk to you whatever on your mind this morning. And I did mean to get to the Sabrina Martin thing, not from a legal standpoint, because I don't know. But it does seem to me that if you're going to validate somebody that has won your primary, that you would have vetted them before we got to this point. And I don't know how we got to that point. Evidently, according to Alabama Daily News, evidently she's had 6 kids taken from her. Now, some of it was for discipline issues. Now, I'm a disciplinarian. I believe in wood is good. So I don't really know the whole nuances there, but evidently it's serious enough to make the papers all over Alabama. And she's going into family court judge. Is that the kind of judge, though, that has the moral authority to judge you? I guess that's the issue. If you got issues, should I be coming in front of you? I don't know. I don't know the whole thing, but evidently a lot of people are concerned about this. And so I guess they're going to see whether or not they're going to accept her. But she did win, But now I know why she didn't come up here. See, I know why she went. I kept asking, I'll be up there. And she never showed up. So I guess she thought somebody was going to bring that up or something like that. But that is interesting that you have 6 kids. I mean, I can understand one, because you're young parents, you don't know what's going on. So
Kevin, let me say one thing on that.
Yeah.
And I don't comment on mud, but here's
ain't mud.
Here's the thing. These are allegations.
No,
okay?
These are truisms. They're not allegations.
Hold on. I am very familiar with the foster care system.
Right.
You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there are allegations that come out.
Sure.
Okay. Now, if I don't know all of the facts of the situation, I don't care what newspaper it was in, I don't feel I'm qualified to comment on it. Okay. So you're repeating allegations. Well, hold on. I'm going to tell you a case.
Again, I can comment on what they commented on.
Hold on. Here's what I'm saying. I'll leave that. And when we had the other young man that was here a little while ago, I told him now, that is something I'll leave to you and him to discuss from a legal standpoint.
Well, it's not
because
legal.
of yes, it is.
I mean, not for me. I'm not studying from a legal standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm just
what?
I'm just an I'm observing.
But you have allegations.
I'm not passing judgment,
and I'm not passing any.
Why got printed reports?
Okay. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. There was an election.
Mm-hmm.
She won that election.
Right.
Okay. Now, if there's anything illegal in her background to prevent her from going into that office, that is what we can discuss. But until that is proven, I can't even give a comment on that, because it's just allegations. And I know things happen in. See, I know things happen in the foster care system because I have been there and been present to see it. Okay, and there can be allegations that seem to be one thing, and then you find out later that it is something else.
Right.
I can tell you for a fact.
But evidently, they had a testament from her kids, from the kids that were with her.
Look,
I'm saying I don't know.
These are allegations, even if they're from the kids or whatever. They're grown now. Some of them, or one of them is grown. I saw the article, and I said, "This is mud," And why didn't they sling this mud in the beginning? This information didn't just appear out of the blue. Now, when she won the election, she won the election,
and then they all
now we're slinging mud because she automatically would be in there because her name is going to be the only one on the ticket.
Right.
So, why did you let it go this far? You're telling me absolutely no one knew this until now? So I don't want to hear it. Unless you have a legal case, and that's why I say I'm not disparaging that young lady. I've heard people say they're going to contest it. Okay, that's fine. I don't want to talk about it because, and I'm sorry, I don't want to put it in a negative way of what I'm saying to you. I don't feel that I'm qualified to discuss that matter about the Democratic Party's nominee because I'm not in the Democratic Party. I did not choose the nominee. And I don't feel I have the qualifications to even discuss it. If it goes into the legal realm where we all can discuss it in a legal ramifications, but until that happens, all you have is gossip.
But we still have the same. We'll still have the same position. Then we still won't be lawyers and all that kind of stuff.
No, what I'm saying is, if it goes to the legal system, then we have another situation. Now they take it down the legal line, and the court of public opinion is not what I'm going to be a part of. Now, after the decisions are made in the legal system, if there is a legal recourse for them and they choose to go that route, then we can talk about that when there is legal standing. Right now, there is no legal standing that I see people stating. It's opinions about this, that, and the other, and allegations. That's all it is. But until there is legal standing, I don't feel I'm qualified.
Well, I don't know if that's the right verbiage, because evidently the court cases are there. So,
I'm saying there again.
So I mean,
on this situation, there are things that are there. There are allegations that are there, and there are things that are there. I'm well aware of what is there. I read the report and so forth.
Okay.
Now, that's the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I'm just kind of concerned. My only concern, what happened in her personal life. I care, but I don't care that much. Is that how can the Democratic Party rescind?
I don't know what that's not my not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah, an election.
The Democratic Party has made it has its nominee.
Right, has its nominee.
Okay, now is there something beyond that? The Democrats, if we're talking about an election, we have the Democratic Party has a nominee. Okay. Now,
right, they do.
Now,
who they have, whatever you call
there you go.
That word that they use when they validate them.
Now, if something happened before the election that you don't feel is right now, that's your fault. That's the Democratic Party's fault.
Right.
Okay. The Democratic, and you know what? This case proves one thing. A lot of times we just go on name recognition and things that we hear, and we don't look at who is this person. You're just saying, well, that's
evidently not.
It's a popularity contest.
Evidently not. But
all it is a popularity contest.
All right, I went a little late on all the breaks. I got to take a break. We'll come back in the last segment of this hour. Donald Jenkins with us this morning. When I found out that they will flood your town. I mean, they won't flood your town, but they did flood a few towns in Alabama. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, it reminded me of being in Honolulu, sitting there on the big mountain and wondering whether or not there's going to be a tsunami. And so they did have their tsunami, but not really. They knew it was coming. So you said the whole process took years to complete.
Right.
Oh, okay. Right. So Start of Rain didn't stop. We'll be back.
Yeah, I think that thing's 44 square miles.
Somebody said, "Who is your guest?" She said that. Who's your guest? It is legal validity showing this happens, whatever that means.
Okay. Yeah, but you've chosen your nominee.
Yeah, that's true.
That's your fault.
Yeah,
so what are you talking about?
That's true.
That was there.
That was there. It was there.
It didn't just appear.
Right.
Okay. So now the nominee is there. If they didn't do their due diligence Don't come now when people start bringing it up. Okay? It's called an election. Elections have results. Elections have consequences. Okay?
Now,
Did
I
someone say
haven't
that
heard,
before?
now what somebody said, I haven't heard her publicly talk about it. But I think once you get in out, you gotta give some public.
Well, she's not in office, and you know what? You can't address a negative.
Right.
You cannot address it. You only give more validity to it. It's just like Donald Trump gave a 12-page rebuttal to the. He just made it worse. He just gave him more things to go into what he's saying. So if people have a negative on you, I don't care if it's Donald Trump or if it's Joe Biden or whoever. The more you talk about it, the worse you get.
The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit MontgomeryAL.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of the Montgomery creative community.
That's right, $49 top over 300 late model items, parts, America's finest, starting with prices of $1,600 and $49 down delivery. Got 50 credit report for little method. Then, oh, no in the past, bankruptcy, medical bills, or even a foreclosure. But you treat everyone with pricing except for all credit unions. I work with the bank to understand your family and know you're more than just a number. Your number one is this special relationship allows us 100% credit approval goal. That's like 100% credit approval goal. And you have to be top dollar for your car. You'll buy your car even if you don't buy once a month. No trading required. Oh, did I say?
Thank the good Lord for a leave.
Oh, okay. You know, I got a text from someone. You know, there is racism out there, right? But then when we parse things in a matter to make it seem as if it's racism, then that devalues racism.
It does.
Okay? Lake Martin put a lot of towns underwater, a lot of communities. Okay? One of those happened to be a black town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But now CNN, and that's where they made it look too.
If it's presented to you that way.
Right.
But see, I know, and see, I just told you, the black people who have the property that was up on the highland, well, they're getting over like fat rabbit. They're getting over way better than these people here in Benson.
Because CNN brought this story up the other day. I said,
So I'm from Montgomery.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I know people who own property on the lake. I know how they got the property. Okay. If it wasn't for that lake backing up like that would just still be inexpensive pasture land and timberland. Okay. See, but now they have a lot that was just timber because the guy, the guy went in and cut the timber down.
Right.
That was around what is now the lake. Cut the timber down. Had this pasture land on high land. And then he divided the parcels in there because see, it goes jagged like this because you've got places that are around the lake over here. Then you've got another slough around the lake over there. You got another one over there. And if each one of those lots, the last one he sold for $200,000 because the closer you are to the deeper water where there are more fish. There's just so many.
And that's how TV can get you screwed up because I was a victim of that. I'm just watching this, and she's saying, well, these are the black communities that were put underwater. And so I'm thinking,
yeah, and that is true, but that is.
But she didn't.
But she didn't tell you.
She didn't know.
There's a list. Of all of the communities that put under.
And I got them.
From Eufaula, it's a bunch of them, and all of them went black. Okay.
Okay. Eight 6-0-14 is the number you want to give us a call. We were just talking about things this morning. I've been called a fraud, a liar. Now, not that I haven't told a few lies along the way, but I've asked the good Lord to forgive me for those, and some of them were kind of big. So I
don't think you're lying about your military service.
Yeah, that that's a fool. So
That's
that's
an
my
opinion.
guess. Yeah,
That's an opinion.
that's an opinion. Good morning. Who's this? Fine.
Good morning.
Now you know, QB was the tour guide. So yeah, well, I mean, QB knows me. She know where I am. She can come on there and talk about anything she wants to. Well, I got the information. I got all of it. Yeah, I get out of. Well, yeah, but I don't really have an opinion on this. I do know. My problem was, how is the Democratic Party going to now sit by and complain about something that they had the wherewithal to check before we even went to the polls?
Is the Democratic Party complaining?
Yeah, they're talking about
The Democratic Party is saying. What are they saying?
Well, let me see. Well, I'll let you know when we come back to that. I got the article over there. I don't know if I can say complain, but they are commenting. Oh, really? Okay. Well, they just mad because so they may be mad because they lost then.
When you say the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party. Okay, and who endorsed her? I mean, endorsed the other guy. Who is they? What is the name of that party?
Fernando.
No, I'm saying what. It wasn't the party. It was a faction of the party.
Wasn't it MCDC or something like that? Yeah.
Okay, so that's not the Democratic
That's not the party.
That's just
the county. What's the county?
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between the conference and the party?
That is not the Democratic Party. That was a faction of the party. And they do that all the time. You know, those conferences endorse candidates, and a lot of times they lose too.
Well, it's true, but it seemed like to me if this was really that important, that somebody would have done their due diligence to, like you said. Fernando did. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get into that. No, we didn't get into
that. No, he came on a Wednesday. I was here when he came. No, that didn't come up.
No.
He gave his qualifications. He didn't talk about his
opponent. He did. He just gave his
qualifications. Yeah. And I thought he was very well qualified from his qualifications. Right. I said so then.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I got to live closer to the hood because I didn't get it. Yeah. Listen, I've been black a long time. I'm always worried about black issues. But that's not the only issue. Wait a minute. That's not the only issue I worry about, though. I don't worry. Well, listen, see it. You know what happened? Okay, I gotta go. You know what happened? That's what happened when you look at CNN. Okay, I look at CNN the other night, and this whole thing came up. And they put it as if this much as land, these cities, these towns, and according to them, most of these cities were black cities, and they just got watered down, put water over.
Well, and cities they named probably were black.
And I said to myself, why would somebody do that?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. Well, I gotta go right now, though. So we'll see.
SMA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Okay, got to stay away from CNN. Got to stick with Fox.
It's the same thing. You get distorted in that.
Well, that's true.
You get distorted to the right and distorted to the left.
Because they all got
in other words, when I speak, I try to speak from a neutral standpoint. And if I'm looking at the facts, the fact is there were towns, yes, that were underwater. Some of those towns were black. Was it predominantly black? No, because the predominantly landowners were not black.
Well, that's true.
The majority of landowners were white.
Okay.
So more white people lost their property doing that. What are you looking at?
The Alabama Democratic Party certified Sabrina Martin as its nominee last Tuesday for only one of three family court judge positions in Montgomery, blah, blah, blah. But according to court documents by APR, Alabama Public Record, Martin herself lost custody of 6 former children due to excessive corporal punishment in her Montgomery home in July 2013. The court order issued by Robert A. Kamala.
I read that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, what is the Democratic Party? What did it say?
The Alabama Democratic Party certified Sabrina Martin.
Okay, in the story.
As his nominee.
That's right. In the story. See, don't add something in there that isn't there. The Democratic Party certified her.
Oh, she's from my home.
Expected that the Fed will be raising interest rates, but the big question is by how much.
So now you have
expected inflation data that
this is opposition research after the fact.
Probably, okay, because this is evidence of a pattern of domestic violence. One of the 6 children referenced in the document, all but one were adopted by Martin, and then her then husband Michael Martin. Jasmine, the lone biological child of Michael and Sabrina.
And $5 a gallon gas prices.
Okay, they were foster care. See, in other words, that's a mess. Yeah, she's a foster. She had only one child.
Right. She had
the other 6 were adopted.
Energy Secretary Jennifer
She was a foster care parent.
CBS Mornings.
That's why I said I'm familiar with this bull crap. You get things like this that happen in there. That don't mean it's true just because they said it.
Millions of barrels off the global market, and that creates the supply crunch.
Loyalty to the former president.
I read the whole thing. And when I saw it, I said, you know what? This can be painted in a way to make her look bad. But it also, from the knowledge I know, and she was a foster care parent.
But to take them,
they're foster care. They take them in a minute. In other words, my mother was a respite parent. They took a kid from a house because he was a diabetic. He was a juvenile diabetic. They said they accused the family of neglect on that child. What it was, my mother was a nurse. Mom took the kid in and she was monitoring as a nurse and checked it. And checking his sugar was extremely high. The doctor looked at his record and said, okay, there's nothing wrong with him. Said, his sugar level is exceedingly high, that for you or I, we would pass out. But for him, because he's a juvenile diabetic that has been a diabetic so long, that his sugar level is so high, that for the normal person, it would have us passing out. So, they ended up giving the kid back to him and said, look, his sugar level is just high. You get what I'm saying? See, people look at records and they look at different things and they take testimony. And then there were kids that would come in, they would say, well, the family beat me. Then after you research, you find, so they put them with another parent. That's all. So what they do, they take them out and put them with another.
One of the things,
see, taking a foster care child is not the same as taking a biological child.
But one of the kids complained from the to-do list today with affordable term life insurance from Fabric. Apply now for free at beatfabric.com/future.
You know what? They'll say that something. I don't know if they did or not. Because, you know, you do get a stipend. When you have those, you get a stipend. And if they're not satisfied with getting what they want, they will say you're using it for something else. You get what I'm saying? I've heard that. See, that's why I say I'm totally different on this stuff. I've seen the things that those kids do.
Online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff, so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
There's no relief from the sweltering heat in parts of one Midwest state.
Tens of thousands of people in Ohio remained without power and air conditioning after strong storms Monday night. The state capital of Columbus was especially hard hit. Tom Kraft is with American Electric Power.
We're going to work 24/7 to get everyone's power back on and get
the system put back together just as quickly and responsibly as we can.
All of the electricity may not be restored for a couple of more days. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
A revelation from a Hollywood star.
This is Vegas.
Bradley Cooper says he battled cocaine and booze addiction long before Hangover fame. On the Smartless podcast, he credits Will Arnett with helping him sober up. He says the actor stopped by his house one afternoon and noticed he still hadn't let his dogs out to relieve themselves. Cooper was 29 at the time. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You can present it in a negative way and you can present it in a positive way. So I'm presenting it in a neutral way.
I was skeptical that, well, somebody who actually did something really bad would be in jail. I mean, it wouldn't.
Right. And then the paper, you see, that's the thing about newspapers now. They give you opinions as opposed to the facts. And they are presenting it in a negative way against her, rather than presenting the facts. There's someone pushing that in a negative way, because it's not new information. It's been known, and I tell you, when they say 6 kids, we're talking about foster kids, basically. Okay, that's different. It's not like they come in and took your child. You get one?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a difference.
Okay.
They're not gonna come in and take your child because your child's not under DHR. Those kids are under DHR. I know about that.
Don't you know what if I could do again to Okay, we're back. First of all, let me tell you about our sponsor of our show. And we are glad to have them aboard. That's J.O. Lane Truck and Auto. You need to go by there. If you need a car, you need a vehicle, you don't have a whole lot of money. You don't have to worry about the big time credit companies coming after you, talking about what your credit, you're 1 point below what our standard is. They got at Mr. Lane, at Lane Truck and Auto, they have buy here, pay here cars. Okay. They check the cars out. They got a website. So you don't even have to wait till you go over there to see. You can go to jllanetruckandauto.com and you can look at the inventory. And let's see what they got over this morning. Let me see what they got over this morning. They have a okay. Let me see what's on the list. They got a bunch of nice cars over there though. And let me get to it right here. Well, I got it somewhere on here. Okay, I'll get to it in a second because you need to know what's going on over there before you get there. So that way you can have it in mind what you want. Okay. Again, buy here, pay here. You don't have to worry about all this credit this and credit that. Let's see what they got this morning. They got a 2005 RX Lexus RX 330. Okay, 12.8. They also have on the website you can estimate your payments. Based on the money you put down and stuff like that. They'll give you a list of manufacturers. If you want to look for something by a certain manufacturer, you can get that. They just got all kinds of things over here. They got an inventory page. Right now, you like Jeeps? 2014 Jeep Patriot, Latitude 13.2. Can't beat that. 2005 Lexus RX 330, and not very many miles, 139,000 miles on it. Not very much miles for a car like that. Okay, get 18 miles in the city to gas. That's good. 24 miles a gallon on the highway. 12.8. 2006 Ford F-250 SD XL. 12.5. You can look at the car. Got multiple pictures of all these vehicles you can take a look at. You can even apply for it online, so you don't even have to go in until you get ready to pick up the car. And if you're really good, you don't feel good today, just pay for it and I'll go pick it and bring it to you. I mean that's kind of service they provide. Okay. So anyway, give them a call. Call Steve or Kathy. That is J.O. Lane Truck and Auto Service at 208 Gun Road. The number is 272-4313. But again, if you're sitting at your desk working for the state, not really working, you can go to the website right now and you can check these cars out. Anyway, don't forget, buy here, pay here. Okay, so therefore you don't worry about all that credit app and all that stuff. Okay, you may need a little credit. They're gonna check you out a little bit, but they don't use the same standard that the Transistian or whatever the name of that company is, Transmedia or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, I went one day, my credit score was 399. I said, I didn't know they went that low. And the guy said, yeah, just for you. So needless to say, I didn't get what I needed that day. But that was 20 years ago. Okay. I've done better since then. Okay. I've even done business with Mr. Lane and found him to be fair, reasonable, and understanding. So again, call this number, 272-4313, 272-4313. Ask for Kathy, ask for Stephen. Get yourself a car. Trade in your heels for some wheels. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the phone right quick and see who is there to air the phone. Let me see how that works. Good morning, who's this? I'm doing fine.
Good morning.
Yeah, you said something around talking at 6:30 this morning.
Yeah.
I want you to expand on it a little bit.
Yeah.
You said there's not a difference in the two parties we have. Explain that a little bit more. Stand on that for me, sir.
The parties, the party apparatus, Democrat, Republican Party apparatus. If you are not a paying member of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, you are not a member. You may vote Democrat, you may vote Republican, but you are not part of the apparatus. Basically, what you're doing, you are working for free. You're giving them your vote for nothing because they don't care about you. Because when they vote, when they have redistricting has nothing to do with you getting a fair shake at the polls. It has something to do with the politician getting a fair shake or an advantage at the polls. None of this is done for you.
So my question is, why did it take you so long to figure this out, sir? You're a grown man.
Well, you don't think I know that by now? I mean, I got a couple kids. I know how it works.
You come on here and tell the Democrats to vote Republican.
No. Remember what I always said. Philosophically, I'm more in touch with the Republican. Yeah, yes, we are, because philosophy is what makes us who we are. The things that we believe makes us vote a certain way we vote, makes us do certain things that we do. So we all have a philosophy, whether you know what it is or not. You have one. You vote on principle. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're telling me that the Republican Party that came in and stripped Obamacare said they was going to replace it. Did they replace Obamacare with?
Well, you're talking about public policy. But wait a minute. Here's the question. And I think the Republican Party asked this, the Democratic Party may have asked, I don't know. But does the government have a responsibility to provide you with medical care? I think that's a reasonable question. Because Obamacare, for what they, I know.
He said that I'm going to replace it with a nice, beautiful insurance that wrapped in a boat.
Mm-hmm. And again, well, now wait a minute now. If you're older, you get If you're older, you get Medicare. If you're younger, you get Medicaid. Are we any better off medically with the Obamacare? As a matter of fact, Obamacare, for the most part, didn't help people who worked their job and wasn't impoverished. Because for those who still made decent money, Obamacare cost them out the wazoo. Only the people who had nothing almost benefited from this. It did not help the middle class. Yeah. Well, they're on one side. Wait a minute. Well, they're on one side. But at least one thing about the Republicans, I like, they don't swear up and down they're going to help me. Okay? A Democrat's been lying forever. Wait a minute. Can you tell me who's made this? All right. See that. We'll never agree on that. 860-1440 number here. Anyway, I'm just saying, if you're only a Democrat or a Republican if you belong to the party. That's it.
Kevin, let me correct you on that.
Really?
Some states require registration for those elections, for party elections.
Right.
Okay. Some states don't.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama is one of those where you basically have an open election.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose your party you want.
Right.
You don't have to register. Some states require that you register for those elections.
But even if you register, you are still not part of the apparatus.
You are a registered
voter in that party.
Registered
voter
There
in
you
that
go.
party, but you're not a
What does
registered
that
member.
mean?
You're not a registered member of that party. That means when a primary thing comes up,
You are a registered Republican.
Right.
Or you are a registered
right,
Democrat.
which means that you have to by the registration process, you have to vote in that particular primary.
In that primary, that's
That's
what you
right.
vote in.
But you are
And
still
that's all,
not
That's all that matters.
right.
Kevin.
But you are still not a Democrat or Republican
Yes, you
unless
are.
no, you
What are you then?
You are a at-large citizen who votes one way or the other. You are not part of the party until you pay to belong to that
You are
party.
a registered
Okay.
Democrat.
Okay.
You are a registered.
Registered.
You register as a Democrat
You
or a
registered,
Republican.
right. You register, but
So
you are
what
not.
does that mean?
You're not part of the party. You're voting for that party. You are not part of the party.
What does that mean? What is the party?
What you pay to belong to. You get a card that goes with it.
And what rights does someone who does not pay to be a
None.
Republican have
None.
that a person who pays
Because the person who
in
pays,
another what do they get?
theoretically,
What do they get?
the person who pays theoretically has a voice.
And what is that called? What are they called? What voice do they have other than a voter? Your voice is when you go to the poll.
But I would imagine if you give enough money, you can call somebody that's running. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can.
think you've got it a little confused.
I'm sorry.
You can register as a Democrat or a
to vote.
Republican in
You
certain
register
states.
to vote for that part, but you're
And
not.
what-
You're
and
not
if
an
you
official
ask a
member.
person, are you a Democrat or a Republican?
They'll think.
If you
that-
ask me, what am I? I'm an independent.
Okay, and
I'm an independent voter.
Independent don't
I
have
can vote any way I want.
exactly. But
I
you,
can choose a
but
primary.
when you
anytime
go
I
in,
want.
but when you go in Alabama thing, you have to take a Democrat or a Republican ballot.
Yeah, that's
That
the ballot.
doesn't make you part of the party. It means
It
you're
means
going to
you
vote
voted- you
for
voted-
that party.
You voted for
Right.
that party.
Right. But and that's
But
not
in a
that don't mean
state-
anything.
In a state where you register to
Just,
be a
it
Republican
just
or
means you have to
Democrat,
vote that.
they're already going to give you that ballot. When your name comes up,
Right.
they says,
Right, because that's what
it
you
says
registered at.
Donald Jenkins, Republican.
Right.
And that's the ballot.
But that's because you registered at.
So what am I?
But you're not part of the party. You only vote that way. You're not part of it.
Well, what is? Okay.
You're just not. And I dare anybody out there to belong
Well,
official,
okay.
the official member of these parties to tell you that you are. You are not.
Okay.
It's like free labor.
No. What you have
Okay.
in states like Alabama, there are people who belong to the Republican Party. They have no more rights as a Republican than someone
Except
who
you
merely votes
except you
Republican.
actually belong to the party.
Yeah, they just participate in certain.
Well, whatever.
things.
But officially you are a member of the Republican Party once you pay your dues. And the Democratic Party once you pay your dues.
No.
Wait a minute. There are certain
You
meetings.
are-
Wait a minute. There are certain meetings that you can go to in these party apparatus.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you are a Republican if you're in a state that requires you to register as a Republican.
No,
You are an independent.
Okay.
In other words, you're an independent in a state like Alabama.
I'm telling you I'm right.
Because you can vote in the
General election any way you
general
want
election
to.
any way you want.
Any way you want to.
Right.
But you are a voter in that party. You are not a member of that party. You're a voter of that party, but you're not a member.
Okay.
They get cards that you pay for every year to belong to the Republican and
So a
Democratic Party.
registered Republican is not a Republican.
He's not a Republican.
What is he?
He's a voter.
So he's not a registered.
Just like
Republican.
Democrat. No, you're registered to vote for them, not to be one of them. And if the truth be told, if people really knew that, I think that they would hold these people more accountable. But you can't call them up. You can't get any. You don't get anything out of voting for them. You don't get nothing.
How did we get here?
I don't know. You don't get nothing. I mean,
I don't know.
somebody can you call Trump up right now?
No.
Exactly. Can you call anybody? You can barely wait a minute. You can barely get a representative now that you voted for. You can't hardly ever talk to them. So I ain't mad at them, but that's just what it is. It is what it is. But now, if somebody who belongs to the party can call it this show right now and tell me I'm wrong, I'll give you 10 push-ups. I'd knock him out right now.
I don't want you to pass out.
I ain't gonna pass out.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't call.
But
Pass out.
there's a difference between voting for somebody and being part of the apparatus. Voting does not make you part of the Republican or the Democratic apparatus. You merely vote for them. That's it.
Okay.
Well, somebody tell me I'm wrong. I'll listen.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah. I mean, it's rare that I win one with you, but I'm right on.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm right on. I'm right on.
Moving on.
So what else? What else on your mind? Oh, and for that idiot this morning who told me that they're not arresting people for their dogs in cars. Yes, they are. From Missouri, I got 5 of them up here right now, all over America. They arrest people for leaving their dog in the car. And the reason this came up because the people at the prison out there, at the women's prison in Montgomery, they don't have air conditioning, they have nothing out there, and everybody keeps saying, well, you know, they're in prison. Well, okay, fine. Then why do we pay more attention to dogs than we do human beings? That's how that came up yesterday. Okay. I mean, you'll go to jail for putting your dog in a car, but they'll put people out in this prison out here languishing in heat. Okay, and sorry about that, it's prison. Okay. All right. Well, tell the HBC or the HBNC, whatever the hell they call that organization, that shows up at your house because your dog's back in the back of that house. Well, he's just a dog. Yeah. Well, they're going to put you in. They're going to take you downtown. All right. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Dog.
Good morning, sir.
Dog by any other name is just a dog.
Just a dog.
Okay.
Hey, what you get when you vote, when you become part of that party, either one is more taxes. That's what you get.
Well, that's probably right.
So you're getting something.
But you can't say I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican legitimately, because you pay for that ability to say that.
Speaking of the heat in the air conditioning, Donald, when you attended starting from first grade all the way up, did you have air conditioning in the school?
No.
Well, y'all was messed up down here then. We had air conditioning.
It wasn't that hot.
we had air conditioning in our school.
No, we didn't have that. I went to St. John Elementary over on Union Street, and anyone that's listening knows that there was no air conditioning there.
That was cruel.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
I went to St. Jude.
You had fans, didn't you?
No.
So y'all sat in the hot building all summer long?
It wasn't that hot.
You just don't remember it.
I went through 12 years of school in Montgomery.
Yeah.
Never had any air conditioning. Went to Dollar Hill, Telegraph, and Lanier. Our teacher's lounge had air conditioning. But we did, and we also had to go out and do PE. And
well, PE's good. Yeah.
Yeah, sweaty and hot. And then come back into school and
smell. And smell. And smell all day. Yeah, smell all day. I when I first got here, I didn't understand why we didn't take showers after gym, why we didn't do those kinds of things, because we did, and we didn't go to school all day long smelling funky after PT. So I couldn't understand that. That must be a Southern colloquialism.
I don't know when that started. It wasn't that way when I was in school. You had to check. You took a shower after you came up to PE.
Yeah, we took a shower too, Doc. Mayor, did you ever have air conditioning when you were in the military and military quarters?
Wait a minute, that's military. I went there to be tough, and that heat will make a brother tough.
Well, all those folks that got drafted didn't have air conditioning. All I'm saying is, this thing about air conditioning,
yeah.
I mean, it may not be pleasant, it may not, but we didn't get a choice when we went to school.
Okay, now I gotta. Okay, I feel you, but now when you were born, they probably had kerosene lamps too. They didn't have lights, but I sure enjoy the lights now rather than the kerosene lamp.
Well, thank God too. We want to see each other.
But I got you. Okay, I just said, you know, I understand what y'all saying, but you know, we live in different times. You know, we used to ride donkeys. Jesus rode a donkey. You know, but I tell you, I think we had a limo for Jesus, but now he probably wouldn't take the limo. He'd probably take a Chevrolet. I'm just saying he would ride in a car. So we don't have, okay, we do what's necessary during those times. You know, you don't, we got air conditioning. We have a responsibility to take care of people in prison. Mm-hmm. That's the only, and the Constitution, the Supreme Court has said, if they're in your custody, you have a constitutional right to take care of them and
But
not starve them to death.
I think what it shows is these prisons are built in a fashion that they don't have proper ventilation. That's why they're.
Well, probably so.
And that's because the person who designed the building designed it to make the most money, built it the cheapest way. But when you think about older buildings, they were built in a way that they had proper ventilation.
When my house was low when I was coming up, it had no ventilation in it.
Because I remember very distinctly when I was at St. Jude, it had these hard floors, and then part of it was marble. The marble floors in the central hallway.
So what's that got to do with anything?
It was always cool. I've
Really?
never seen it hot. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could go to the library and there was just a window open, and it was always nice and
Interesting.
pleasant in there.
Good morning.
Membership in the Republican Party and the Democrat Party is determined by how you use your vote. That's how you self-identify. It's the same thing as if you say you're a Baptist.
Self-identify doesn't make you an official member of the party. Yeah, but it doesn't, because it does not make you an official member of the party just because you self-identify. Just like a guy who thinks he's a girl, he can think he's a girl. That doesn't make him one.
Well, let him finish his point.
You don't have to pay dues or anything. It's how you typically vote. You like self-identify. It's the same thing as a church. If you go to a Baptist church, you call yourself a Baptist. Now, one other thing, you might want to look up the TVA and look how many combs are displayed by whites and stuff. But you probably don't even know what the TVA is.
Well, it's the Tennessee Valley Authority. See you later. Of course, I know what it is. Now, hold on, wait a minute. I can solve this problem.
Solve what problem?
I can solve this problem with Democrat and Republican. If you are an official member of the party, if you don't pay, I can solve this. So I'll get the number in a few minutes and find them up in Birmingham and ask. So I can figure this out. I got it. Because I know I'm 100% totally right. Okay. If there was no membership to this party, there wouldn't be a party. There's a membership roster somewhere of all the official members. Just because you vote Democrat or Republican does not make you one. Does not make you. I'm sorry, it don't. It means that you get free labor. You just voting for nothing. That's what you, because you don't get jack out of it most of the time. Anyway, let's take a break and we'll be back right after this.
Brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio
Let me call
1440.
my good Republican buddy.
Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't pay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, the good news continues. Still no major
But I could be wrong.
accidents are being reported.
Could be.
That would send anyone on an alternate route.
But I've already told you you're right.
From a civil patient transport.
No need to argue with an idiot.
Okay.
That's secret to a long life. Never argue with an idiot. But if you listen to what he just said, he told you something that was
Identifying as one and being one is totally different. Totally different.
Now, when you say identifying one, I agree with you on that. You identify with being a woman and being one is different, but that's
In other
voting.
bad news, Caterpillar, which is
That's
out
just
of
voting.
Illinois.
And
they
voting
now
is
moved their
regulated
corporate
differently in
headquarters
each
from
state.
Illinois to Texas. Why do you think
That's
they're
true. I'm not
moving?
talking about the voting process. I'm talking about the membership
That's
process.
part of the voting
Now, for the
process.
first time in 170 years,
Like
have had a
in
net decrease in population.
municipal
Why is it
elections,
59% of
they're just
people that live in New
That's
Jersey
nonpartisan.
want to leave New Jersey? 59%. Why is this? Why
Let me
is
see
there
if
a
I'm
mass
right or not.
exodus out of New York for the
I know I'm
Carolinas
right.
and Tennessee and Florida?
But it's different
The
in each
answers are
state.
obvious. You know,
How you
Caterpillar announced that they're going to relocate from
Hey!
Deerfield, Illinois, to an existing
Listen,
operation
Kevin, I
in
got a
Irvine,
question to ask.
Texas. They're leaving because they
Because
can't
I've been
afford to stay
people
there
keep telling
anymore.
Keeping you on the straight
Everybody,
path.
people who
Later
vote
today,
Republican
it's
or
the
vote
Sean
Democrat
Hannity Show.
does not make them official Democrats or Republicans. Isn't there a membership that goes with officially with the party so you can actually claim to be a member?
Say the rest of it now. In states that require
I'm talking about
registration.
voting
Which
process.
is why
In
you should
states
try
that require
ZipRecruiter
registration.
for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Right.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people.
Like if you voted Republican
Primary.
and there's a runoff, and there's a runoff. You can't go vote on the Democrat side in the runoff.
Right.
You're not supposed to anyway.
Right. But my question is this though. What you vote as is one thing, but are you an official member? Isn't there a membership price to pay to belong to the Republican Party?
Not that I know of, because I've been in politics a long time. And other than getting on the ballot, filling out those paperwork and that sort of stuff, to run for office, I don't have a membership card that says I'm a Republican. I never paid any dues to the GOP.
I guess I could be wrong, but so the people in Washington, the National Republican Party in Washington,
they vary state to state. Now, I mean, there are some states where what you say is true.
So, but in Alabama,
those are states that have closed primaries.
Okay. So I'm halfway right and halfway wrong.
Well, it just varies. I mean, it's like everything else in America. It varies state to state. But, in some states, they don't have primaries at all. They have caucus. And in a caucus, the people that are Republicans or Democrats meet in the big room and just choose the candidate.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I never have figured out the caucus thing. Okay. So as far as you.
Well, that means you're avoiding an election. You're saying we're the people that run the party. We're going to tell you who our candidate is. We're the party.
Okay. So the National Republican Party, if there is one, is ran. Okay, is ran by. So those members, are they paid members?
Yeah, of course they're paid.
So where does that money come from?
Various Republicans, corporations, same people, place Democrats get their money. I mean,
okay.
They get them from PACs and people interested in politics.
Okay, I got that. So, no wonder we all screwed up then, because you can vote Republican or vote Democrat and really receive no benefit from that vote.
Well, why the hell should you get a benefit from your vote without buying it? And if you are getting a benefit, you need to go to jail.
No. I'm talking about the civic. I'm talking about the civic. Us as people, we vote. But all we do the day after vote is start complaining again because nothing really changes.
I don't know. Joe Biden certainly made things change.
Well, that's true. Well, he did make things change. That's true.
There you go. You said,
okay.
Your Democratic friends, you all want to change. Well, my God, you got it.
Okay. Well, you help.
We got war in Europe. We got inflation in the United States. We got $5 gas probably going to $7. You hear that Stellantis, fourth largest automaker in the world. They own Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They started announcing layoffs today.
Woo! Okay. All right.
Here it comes, buddy.
Okay. Well, listen. When you get a chance, man, come up here and let's talk for a couple hours one of these mornings.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, but I'm sorry to disappoint you. I wish that Alabama party associations are rather nebulous.
Okay. Thank you.
Especially for Republicans.
Now I gotta go eat crow. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Right here on News Radio.
They don't know how to run a party. Okay. Okay. All right. Now this is going to be a rarity. It's going to be a rarity, but I just talked to one of the top Republicans in the state of Alabama, Dick Brubaker, and Dick told me that they really don't have to join the party to be a member of the party. That you vote, like you said. Essentially, whatever you vote that on that primary is what you are.
Right. Give me 10 push-ups.
I'm knocking them out for you on the way out the door. Okay. It didn't make sense.
Okay, so.
Okay, well.
You beat that dead horse long enough.
Yeah, I did that. Now, he did say some states have caucuses, which I haven't.
Yeah, and that's a totally different
thing. And the caucuses are a totally different thing. Yeah. So evidently then, you're working for free twice.
And so you can apologize to the caller who said you're self-identified. If you say you're a Baptist, you're a Baptist. If you say you're a Republican, you're a Republican.
Okay, okay,
You pro.
yeah, I
Eat
guess.
it up.
Okay, well,
He's
listen,
full of pro.
I guess that's what you got to do. So, everybody who thinks they're a woman, I guess you really are.
No, that's totally different.
That's what you're sitting.
No, it's physically.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay, well, okay, all right. But I was convinced that I was right.
No, it's, you can believe a lie. That doesn't make it the truth.
Well, we won't say it's a lie. It's a
I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
There are people who believe a lie.
Okay.
And they think it's the truth.
Well, listen, let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you one thing that I know is absolutely true. That's if you want a car, you need to go to JL Lane Truck and Auto online.com. JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. And if you need a car for your grandkids, your kids, you're tired of messing with your car, give them a call at 334-440-3663, and they will give you an outstanding deal on a car. Pay here, buy here, pay here, no hassles. They'll ask you a couple of questions to make sure that you are legitimate, but go online right now. You can look at the inventory right now, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com, and you click on the sign at the top that says inventory, and they got some fantastic deals. And next week, I'm expecting to have some more deals over there that I'll be able to tell you about. Okay, the number is 272-4313, 272-4313. As for Steve or Kathy or anybody else over there picks up the phone, and they will certainly give you superior service than any other automobile shop in Montgomery. All right, let's go back to the phone now. Everybody's calling now because I was wrong. Okay, I still think I'm wrong. No, I can't even get my way. Normally I can wiggle my way out of stuff, but I can't wiggle your way out. Yeah, I just can't wiggle my way out of this one. Although I still agree that.
I'll just tell you, I told you so.
Okay, I can live with that. Okay. That's good.
I'm not gonna rub
I still say, what a way to run a party. Okay. Good morning. Well, that's okay. That's true too. Right. Okay. I got you. Call one time. I got you. You're right. Next time I'll put that in a different way. Good morning. Who's this? Okay. Well, I tell you. All right. Move right along. Good morning. Who's this? Something's wrong with my callers. I just did. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong thinking that you're gonna come up here and talk to us about your aspirations for that seat. I haven't seen you yet, but that's okay.
This is the good part. I listen to you, and I only call in sometimes you don't answer. I listen to you read and rate every morning, like John said, you spitting out all your beliefs and your philosophy.
Right.
And I told you, I'm coming. That was no benefit to me coming before the primary. You know who your primary voted? It was absolutely nonsensical for me to come to your show.
That's true, because you spanked him pretty good.
Well, it was just not going to benefit. I know who your callers are, generally.
You keep thinking about that. Wait a minute. It's not the callers, it's the listeners.
Well, yes, true, because people like me listen.
Right. Right. I got you. I got some of the richest people in town. Right.
I just want to say, thank you to Donald.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping him to see that he was telling
I was wrong. Right. Okay. I'm not a lie. It was a misconception.
That's another word for a lie.
Okay, so the word of the day is misconception.
Okay.
All right then. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the word of the day. Misconception. Well,
now you're being PC. It's a lie.
I just knew I was absolutely right. Well, because why? How can you have a party and he did say that they get paid. So if they're getting paid to be in charge of something, isn't that an organization? Well, we got to join SAM.
Hold on. Identify the they.
The people who are in charge of the party apparatus.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
So that makes it an official organization. And so how is membership garnered then Okay, how's membership?
They're executive members. Executives get paid. They get paid. You can have a nonprofit and an executive of that can get paid.
Okay. So, but how is it an organization if you don't have to join it? How can you be a member of something that you don't join?
It is, you're joining when you
vote for them.
When you register.
When you okay.
When you register,
Okay.
or that's when you qualify. Or what's the word? When
Okay.
you go in and you state, when they ask you which voter
Right.
registration you want, you put, well, I want Republican. Okay, you said it. Yeah. Then you're a Republican.
I accidentally got a Democrat one.
Then if there's a runoff, you can't run. If you are a Republican, you can't go in the Democratic runoff. You have to be a Republican because now you are a Republican.
Because in America, we pay for all this voting, but we don't have a right to change our mind. This is a private party.
No, this is a nomination process.
Right, but it's a private nomination.
And it's the nomination.
And I can't change. I can't have sour grapes after I vote for this guy that I found I did something else.
Hold on.
Only in America is
the nomination.
Right.
Now you can change your mind in the general.
Right.
You can change your mind in the general.
Right. But in the runoff, what if I decide I want the Republican guy in the runoff?
Well, you should have been a Republican to begin with.
Well, I know how bad the Democrat was.
You voted in the Republican primary.
Well, that's true.
Okay, so the voters in that primary have the right.
So the only thing you can do
only the people who voted in that primary.
So the only thing you can do then is don't go back to vote. If you're disappointed, if you're dissatisfied, disappointed with information that has come forth since you voted, all you can do is don't go vote, because you can't go to the other guy's table and vote for him, the Democrat.
No, if there's a runoff, hopefully you chose one of the people that's in the runoff.
No, I'm saying, but what if? Oh, okay, because the runoff is in the same party.
It's in the same party.
Yeah, same party. But
So
what if
you're
I
not
don't like?
changing
Well, what if I don't like neither one of them now?
What do you mean? What? Well, you liked them before and now you don't like them?
Things come up.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, I may find out he was out in the barn having fun with the horse. I mean, I don't. Listen,
Well, you can change your mind then. People usually rarely do that.
Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
I just want to say, let me turn my radio down. Okay.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question. Okay. Say, you voted Republican. You declared Republican this time. Okay. But the person that you voted for is not in the runoff this time. What then?
You mean he loses in the runoff? What? Because he's going to be. Then you got to. But you get a second chance to vote for him during the runoff.
Wait a minute. You're confusing me.
Okay, but this voting that's coming up this time is not going to be on the ballot.
Say that again.
But then he must have lost.
That's what I'm saying. He lost.
Oh, so the person lost in the primary. If that person lost in the primary, the winner of the primary is
And
the
the runner,
nominee.
and the runner up, they're going to.
See, it's a nomination.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that person hasn't been nominated, so you can't vote for him.
Okay, but you declare Republican. Can you vote for the two?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about in the primary or the general election?
The one that's coming up.
The primary that's coming up.
That's a runoff, right?
That's a runoff. If you didn't vote in the Republican primary, you can't.
Right, you can't vote in the Republican, right, unless
If you voted in the Democratic primary. But if you didn't vote at all, you can vote in that. Okay, if you voted in the Republican primary. And now what?
Now, it was more than, well, okay, if you voted in there, and that person you selected is not now.
Because he lost. Right.
It's not in the runoff.
Right. So
you
you
can
got
only vote
right
because the runoff is only between two people.
Right. You got a choice between one of those two people who outlasted the incumbent.
Right.
Okay, so I still can vote.
Yeah. You got to vote for one. Yeah.
Yeah, vote for one of those Republicans.
Right.
If you voted in the Republican primary.
But in the general election, if you don't like either one of them, you can vote Democrat.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right then. They all did a little bit of that, but we shall return uno momento after this break. You guys hang loose, and we'll be right back.
First alert weather forecast.
I'm a little confused on that call.
Sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit.
Well, I just knew I was right.
Blinds, shop Blindster
I
today
just
and save
knew I was
big.
right.
Blindster.com.
Only in America can you have an organization, but you can't join it. That just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't mean, what you're saying is you don't have to pay dues
Right.
to be an organization.
To be an organization.
There are organizations called churches, the same thing. You can be a member of a church, and you don't have to pay dues to be a member.
But if you want to get anything out of it, you better start putting something in place.
Not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily.
It's not a requirement. It is a suggestion. It's
Mm.
not a requirement. They won't put you out of church if you don't put in the work.
They'll look at you funny. Man, you ain't never put in that place. You ain't never had that much.
Right now, things are looking good. Nothing's being reported by the authorities.
I don't know. I don't get into that.
Yeah, what you put in is up to you. When I take Z to try, I don't even see what he puts in. I don't even want to know. That's between him and God.
But giving them more room to enjoy life.
You can get an envelope and have nothing in it and put the envelope in there.
I guess you can.
No one will know it came from you.
I guess. But if you had a sincere heart in doing it, you just didn't have anything. That's all right.
But it's just a custom. There were mission churches that didn't have election at all.
As
But
state
they had
auditor,
sponsors.
I will protect the taxpayer
But mission
from
churches
spending
do.
spree politicians and bureaucratic powers. I am not a recycled politician that needs a job. I am a constitutional conservative Christian.
I remember,
and a
but
lifelong
why does a
strings
Christian have to do anything with being in a public office?
Power brokers in Montgomery. Vote Stan Cook.
As opposed to what, being a Muslim?
Faithful by the
What are you
Stan
saying?
Cook, PO Box 130, Kimberly, Alabama 35091.
I was talking about that commercial.
Cheap Freedom Days
Why
are
do they
here
say
at
that?
Tallis, Chrysler, Dodge,
You know,
I'm a conservative Christian, as opposed to what?
a
A liberal Muslim?
Yeah, sometimes they.
That's really a non-issue for all. And I don't even know what conservative means, man.
Yeah, I don't either.
Almost 3 million people use Devise to breathe better, sleep.
You know, I'm glad I'm of the age when I remember when there
I'm
were
Martin Hogan. I invented
liberal
Devise, the world's only
Republicans
nose
and
cleaner that
conservative
flushed out
Democrats.
airborne germs with powered suction. But what do doctors have to say about Devise? Here's Dr. Tonya Farmer, a board-certified ear, nose, and throat
So
specialist.
Pike Road getting mad because they getting growth, but it's the wrong kind of food. So they fight. They don't want no more houses.
Well, that happens. You know, that Mountain Brook has been going through that same thing for quite some time. You know, they don't allow apartments.
I don't blame them.
You know, there are certain counties that don't allow apartments.
I don't blame them. Apartments bring trouble.
Yeah.
Although
There are houses only, and North Alabama has a lot. You know, Birmingham, well, Jefferson County has a lot of that. But they have these small municipalities, which are really just suburbs. And see, that's where Pike Road didn't look at a lot of things before they decided to have their own school system.
Competitive companies. Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote. For example,
One thing, there were
George
already
is
people out
39.
there.
He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies
And they weren't
because he
poor
takes
people.
meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I
And all
found a
of them weren't
10-year,
white.
$500,000 policy for
But it seems that
$122
Disney-
a month.
Disney's
I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino.
And believe me,
is not
if
as
Select Quote isn't shopping
high
for your
as they
life
thought
insurance, you're
because they
probably paying too much.
it's that
For
some
your
countries
good
said we ain't gonna have that program right here where we got these same sex people. Some of these countries no, we don't want you moving.
6688.
Okay.
800-890.
There's two sides to that.
Or go to
China ain't playing that at all.
Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/.
There's several countries that don't play that. Saudi Arabia don't play it. Yeah, they do. You don't ever hear anybody complain about Saudi Arabia.
Every weekday from 2
No,
to
you
5
don't.
p.m.
If you do, you only do it once.
The BJA is complaining
Yeah, I know.
about Saudi Arabia having that.
Yeah. Okay, it's 8:49 in the morning, right here on this Wednesday morning. You know it's how you know it's Wednesday? Because Donald Jenkins is in the house. 860-1440. So Donald, what else you been doing last 2 weeks?
Listening to you every now and then.
Every now and then, so you can handle.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah.
I listen every day.
I understand.
Yeah. And I just try to bring a different perspective. You know, it's not about arguing. It's not about who's right or wrong. This is just a different perspective. And that perspective is just your viewpoint. And hopefully there were some viewpoints that people heard today that were maybe different, maybe the same. I don't know. But that's my viewpoint.
You remember when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was going on, there was a group, there was a militia group, a black group. Mm-hmm. And they said the name of the group was Ain't Blanking Around. Mm-hmm. That was their official name.
Okay.
And the guy in charge of that now, they've actually arrested him for and he could go to prison for 7 years. I guess for terroristic threats or something like that. I mean, you know, I believe in the Second Amendment, but you know, it comes with responsibility and things like I believe in militias because you know we have a right to protect ourselves, but you know, there's just some things you ought not put out in the public eye. But what do you think about the January 6th thing? The congressional melee that's going on. It's a show for Hollywood, for far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's your opinion, but I think it's if you have you watched it?
I watched some. I can handle a couple minutes.
Why you couldn't handle it? Because you cannot tell me Schumer sits on the court of the United States Supreme Court and threatens Supreme Court justices, and then nothing happens to him. He gets on the court and threatens them if you change that law on the Roe versus Wade. You just asked me about.
I know. It's just
you asked me about one thing.
It's hypocrisy.
No, hold on. Here's what I'm saying. Schumer is a senator.
Okay. Which means he's got a hell of a lot more responsibility than I do.
Hold on. Yeah. This is a congressional investigation that is going on in the House of Representatives.
Of a lie.
Okay. Yes, I agree with the lie, which was the big steal. You know, that was a lie. Okay. Now, all of the information that has come out so far has shown that there were multiple people telling the former president of the United States that he lost the race.
He don't have to believe it. He don't have to believe it.
Well, okay. But the whole point is they told him that.
Okay.
Then he listened to an inebriated man telling him otherwise, and that's what he went with. He went with the people who told him what he wanted to hear. His daughter said she believed Bill Barr, and the members of his staff told him that, and then he kept telling people something's going to happen. It's going to be big, and
he always said
that's the way. Okay, but then there are some people who take it literally. And there are people who came there with intentions to do harm.
And I would agree, there probably were some, but you can't blame him for that.
But look, if there are some people who are saying, we're going to go rob the bank, do you go with them? Because you know they're going to go rob the bank.
But he has nothing to do with what people do.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Because when the people are saying, hang Mike Pence.
Okay, but he didn't tell them to.
He said, maybe they have a good point.
Well, that's his opinion.
Okay. Rather than getting on the phone, which Mike Pence was doing, getting on the phone and asking for help.
Well, why didn't
there is a breach?
Okay, so why didn't the person who's in charge of that, Pelosi, who was in charge of that, why didn't she do something?
No, Pelosi was in the same position as everybody
Well,
else.
okay.
She was running.
Now you're making
No.
excuses for her.
No, I'm not.
They knew about this a couple of days before this even happened. They knew about it. The FBI had said it. As a matter of fact, the state Capitol Police were told that this was something that was possible. They did not do their due diligence.
Now you're
protect.
shifting the blame.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not blaming
let's go-
Trump for this.
Let's go back to.
I'm not blaming Trump for this.
Okay, the way it all started, it said stop the steal.
Okay.
Was the election stolen?
It was manipulated.
Was the election stolen?
It was manipulated.
Was it stolen? Yes or no?
Well, how do you define?
Was it the stolen?
How do you define steal?
Stealing means I take something from you that doesn't belong to me and give you nothing for it. I just take it.
It was manipulated.
Did he
But I can't
win
use,
the race?
But
Let me
I
ask you this.
cannot use the word steal because the Republicans have
Did
the
he
same
receive? Did Joe Biden receive the votes legally?
Now that's a question right there.
Has there been any proof that he did not?
Well, you don't win by
Has there-
votes.
has there-
You don't win by votes in the presidential election.
By the votes that he received, gave him the electoral college votes.
And we have since
Did he
proven.
have?
We have since proven that they were.
Hold on.
Okay.
What we?
We
have proven what?
There's a film I call 2000 Mules.
That's fiction.
No.
That's
they
fiction.
did geo-tracking of people's cell
That's
phones
fiction.
and video
That's fiction.
that showed people picking up ballots in the wee hours of the night and bringing them to certain drop-off points.
Here
Way
again.
after the thing had closed.
And Bill Barr has said that's a joke too.
Okay. Well, Bill
The
Barr.
attorney, his attorney.
Bill
general.
Barr don't
So
like
you believe
them.
in fiction?
Well, fiction is all
It is
fiction,
fiction.
is related.
Is it? Let me ask you.
reality
This.
some
Is
kind
that
of way.
movie a reality? Is it
Yeah,
real?
I believe it is.
It's fiction. It's
I
fiction.
I believe it is real.
It is fiction.
Good morning. Who's this? Yeah. Then I just get. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If he had answered the question that I put to him in messages, is he Team Normal, Team Crazy, or Team Giuliani? That would answer why he tried to have a document with the Democratic Party and wanted to get elected because of that. Some Johnny Latham.
Well, to say it was seditious is not right. Yeah.
Team Crazy, or Team Giuliani? That would explain all your problems.
Okay. Everybody's got right there.
What is sedition?
It is when you're trying to overthrow the government, and that is not what
What were
majority
they
of people were
doing?
doing. They
What
were
were
trying
they
to.
doing? They were stopping.
They were people
If
who had
you
grievances.
impede- If you do anything to impede the official process of the United States Constitution, that is seditious. They stopped.
Yeah.
They stopped.
Yeah.
And they said, stop the steal.
Good morning. Who's this?
And they stopped the counting of the votes.
Morning. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah, he ain't working at all. Yeah, that was the worst. That's the worst election in my lifetime. Again, this has been a nightmare. But hey, y'all got who you voted for.
It's presentation.
You got who you
what?
got who you wanted.
You know, we're in the midst of a war.
Yeah.
We've come out of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And whoever would be president right now would be in a bad shape. Because you know what? The corporations are trying to make up for the money that they lost during COVID.
And I hear,
and they're doing whatever they can. In other words, there would be no more oil, no more gasoline produced today if the president was Donald J. Trump or he was Joe Biden. Do you know why? Because the oil companies are going to make their money anyway.
Good
It
morning.
has
Who's this?
nothing to do with the president.
Good morning. Okay. Time is up. It's been an interesting day. Interesting day. But they did manipulate the 2020 election. I don't care what anybody says. I will never ever change my
And
mind.
you have a right. That is what you.
They
perceive it to
screwed
be.
Trump, is what they did.
If that's what he believes.
Okay.
But is that factual?
Yes.
That's an opinion.
We got to prove.
That's an
Listen
opinion.
to the movie 2000 Mules.
That's a fiction.
Anyway,
It's an opinion
I like that movie.
based on no fact.
WSFA 12 News Update.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. It's a piece of fiction.
Have you seen it?
No, it's fiction.
It's a
I'm
good
not
movie.
watching it.
Good movie.
It's a propaganda there.
Well, they all put some
For
of
an
that.
idiot.
They all put propaganda.
And Trump is